Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to M-Class Podcast, the Star Trek podcast for the common fan. I'm your host, Jeff.
Is that new?
That's new.
I'm away 1 week, and there's a whole. We sell out. We have a fucking.
We have a slogan,
catchphrase.
Dude, that's going on T-shirts. You fucking wait. We're ready.
I'm fine with that.
Dude, I'm ready to sell out. Look, Audible, fucking, the bed one. What's the name of the Casper? Like anybody.
I don't know.
Hit us up. mclassemail@gmail.com. I will shill whatever.
I like it.
Cigarettes to children? Let's do it.
Cigarettes. Get your cigarettes here.
The smooth flavor of menthol cools.
Oh, yeah. Menthol. Oh, my God. Menthol. Ugh.
Introduce yourself.
Hey, that's me. I'm back. I'm Josh.
Josh is no longer sick boy. He's healthy boy, and he's here to talk about Star Trek.
I mean, I'm, like, not sick, but I'm, like, not healthy.
Nah, I would never call you healthy and mean it, Josh.
I mean, mentally, that's never been true. That's never been a thing.
In this episode of M-Class Podcast, we're going to be talking about part 1 of the seminal classic, The Best of Both Worlds from TNG.
Yes. Spoiler alert, this is a good one.
Yeah, we were talking about our hot takes about this episode, and I guess we'll put them out there to everybody. We think it's good.
Here's a hot take. This is a great episode. Suck on that, you fucking doubters.
Suck on that, communists.
Take that, haters.
Haters. There are a lot of haters of The Best of Both Worlds out there.
Yeah, people hate this one. It's changed television forever. They hate it.
The Best of Both Worlds is the season 3 finale.
Yeah, this is when the show just like completely kicks into amazing town.
It's season 3, episode 26, and it aired in 1990. A lot of you weren't born yet.
I was 7.
I was 3 years younger than that. So
I remember seeing this on television. I remember watching this.
I watched it on like reruns on like TBS.
Yeah, I watched it and like I had to wait, and I was like, "Oh my god, what the fuck is gonna happen to Captain Picard?"
What's gonna happen? I could see you at 7 years old saying "fuck."
I said, "Holy shit, Dad," and my dad was like, "Whatever, I don't care."
Oh, so this episode was written by Michael Piller, who you might know as the writer of like 900 episodes of Star Trek. Mm-hmm. And the executive producer of TNG, co-creator of Deep Space Nine and Voyager, and
that's 1 for 2. 1 for 2 out of those.
Emmy Award nominated, Hugo nominated, Gene Roddenberry Award winner, writer and producer Michael B. Piller.
How do you not win the Gene Roddenberry Award if you're like a creator of 2 Star Trek series?
I don't know, man. He died, so I don't know if he gives it out anymore.
He didn't make it this year. He only made 2 Star Trek series. I don't know.
Gene Roddenberry gave those out of his basement, so I really wouldn't list it anyway.
It was just like like a statue of old gum. It just shaped kind of like a Klingon, but not really.
Michael Piller wrote 39 episodes of Star Trek.
That's the sex number.
So he wrote Unification and Unification 2, another 2-parter that I fucking love.
Is that the Hugh? Was Hugh in that one?
No, that's called Iborg.
No, he's in another one though, isn't he? Oh no, Unification's the one with Spock.
Yeah, Spock is in those.
Yeah,
and they're fucking great episodes. He also wrote Ensign Rowe, which is a really fucking great episode.
Ensign Rowe.
Times Arrow, Yesterday's Enterprise, The Enemy. He did a lot of fucking great episodes.
Also, Ronald D. Moore. He's the story editor on this one.
Yes.
So he's got
love Ronald D. Moore.
Yeah.
Michael Piller also did the screenplay for Star Trek Insurrection.
Well, there you go.
So
there's a bad one.
Not everybody can bat 1,000 at all times.
What if they find the Fountain of Youth? Hold on. Hear me out.
What if their titties get more firm? What if that happens?
What if they make a bunch of funny jokes about being young? Except they're not funny.
This episode was directed by Cliff Bowl, who the Bolians are named after.
What?
Yeah. He directed the first episode in which Bolians existed, the TNG episode Conspiracy, so they named the Bolians after him.
That's great. Is he related to U-Bowl? The guy who makes all those shitty movies?
Maybe. It is spelled the same way.
He might be. Well, he made better things than UV Bowl, however you
Uwe Bowl, yeah.
Uwe Bowl.
So, here's a fun fact of the week for you. Since I've been dropping fun facts left and right, here's a official.
I missed it. I missed a week, so I'm behind. I haven't learned any fun facts.
God, you must be ready to burst.
I got fun facts, blue balls.
So, this is a very fun fact. Okay. According to actor Will Wheaton, Cliff Bowl was one of the many directors who treated him condescendingly on the set.
That's hilarious.
Wheaton elaborated, most of them favored grabbing me by the elbow and moving me around the set rather than, giving me direction like I was a person or a professional or anything like that.
Oh,
the worst
feelings got hurt.
The worst offender was this guy, Cliff Bowl.
Man, has Will Wheaton ever said anything good about anybody?
No, he just fucking talk shit about everybody.
Yeah, you'd think Will Wheaton was fucking Patrick Stewart. Like, this guy, thinks he could just, spout off about his time when he was, 14 years old, and probably was so annoying that nobody could bear talking to him. That's why they didn't tell him to move.
He's a giant piece of shit. He was apparently, still to this day he is, passive-aggressive as fuck.
Yeah, I know. I've heard him. He's awful.
There's a story that William Riker, Jonathan Frakes, told at a convention I went to. Uh-huh. He told the story that he had gotten a new car. Or maybe
I wonder what it was.
Maybe it was a new motorcycle. I forget. But he, I think it was a new motorcycle, and he, rode onto the set with it. And Will Wheaton loved motorcycles as well. And he said, Jonathan, I hear from your dressing room you blaring some really cool modern rock, and you had this new motorcycle. I bet you were really cool when you were younger.
He's an idiot.
He's just passive aggressive as fuck.
What? He's William T. Riker.
Coolest motherfucker around. The dude that made the trombone cool.
He's so cool, he can play a trombone, and it's awesome. You're right.
Alternatively, actor Robert O'Reilly, who played Gowron, commented that Cliff Bowl was just a wonderful director, and he's a really nice guy.
A wonderful director and his house.
He's a wonderful director and a nice guy.
A nice guy.
Apparently he directed episodes of all these great sci-fi and cult series like $6 Million Man, MacGyver, X-Files, T.J. Hooker, Spencer for Hire.
When I think of great sci-fi, I think T.J. Hooker.
T.J. Hooker. He also directed episodes of Baywatch.
Oh, wow. He's got a lot of work, dude.
So he was a pervert. He directed 42 episodes of Star Trek.
That's a lot. A lot less bouncing titties in Star Trek.
Yeah, I don't think he directed the episode where Crusher and Troy wear their ballet outfits and stretch all over each other. Either.
Oh man, that episode is so late 80s, early
it is.
90s. It's holy shit.
They're wearing their aerobics outfits.
If you saw somebody wearing that shit at the gym, you'd be like, what the fuck year is it?
It's the future. It's what we wear in the future. So a little background on this episode before we get into it. We always front load this with some information.
Yeah.
Before this episode happened, the Enterprise, thanks to Q's machinations to teach our hubris-filled humans a lesson, was sent into what I assume is the Delta Quadrant.
Yeah, they're I forget. They say at distance it's 90,000 light years or something like that.
It's far as fuck.
Yeah.
Sends them out into the Borg territory, which is the Delta Quadrant, so it has to be there.
Yeah, because Q's you guys think you're all fucking living a high life, but you don't even fucking know the shit that's out there.
Yeah, so I'm gonna show you.
He does it for their own good, though. I have a theory about this.
Oh, the Q's actually really benevolent?
Yeah. That he, does things purposefully at the right time so, humanity can survive.
He does love humans. He thinks they're real neat.
He wanted to make a baby with Captain Janeway.
Yeah, what a terrible fucking storyline to give that character.
They were like, we need Q. He's awesome. How can we get him involved in this dumb show?
I don't know, there's a lady captain. Maybe he wants to fuck. Because that's what ladies is for, right?
And Q, who's like an omnipotent god, would definitely need to like go after a captain in Starfleet. That's definitely, maybe he just got a type. Maybe he wants to fuck like Picard.
He for sure wants to fuck Picard as well, but he knows like he
doesn't.
can't impregnate Picard. Or maybe he could. He's cute.
He's cute. He can do whatever the fuck he wants.
Maybe,
Dude. He can
like,
turn Picard into a hot ass lady.
Picard like turned him down one time too many, so he's like, fine, I'll go get an easier piece of captain ass.
He started.
Although it turned out to be just as difficult.
He started to like hit on Picard, and Picard just goes, "Q,
what are you doing here?
enough!" And that was it. That was the end of that.
And he tried to get to Cisco first. Cisco punched him in the fucking face, so he had to go after Janeway.
Because Cisco's also a god. That's how it works.
It's true. That's how he could punch him. That's the theory, anyway.
Yeah. It's built-in story that they didn't.
They had no clue about at that point.
Yeah.
So they got sent to the Delta Quadrant, and they ran into the Borg, and they were completely incapable of harming them in any way, shape, or form. And if it wasn't for their genius at running away like little bitches and Q's intervention, they would have been obliterated.
It's great. Like, it's such a great foreshadowing, because, like, you know that the Borg are just gonna come. And they say that at the beginning of this episode. They're like, we've had, like, 2 years or a year or whatever to try to figure out how to...
Oh, like, yeah. I think it's less than a year. It's like 9 months or something. We thought we would have more time. We thought we would at least have 2 years.
Yeah, they transwarp their ass all the way fucking from the Delta Quadrant here.
It's terrifying. Their technology is at such a level that even the Federation, the most technologically advanced society in the Alpha and Beta quadrants, is like, what the fuck?
It's bad. It's bad news. You don't want to be around the Borg.
No, even the
Not
Borg
yet.
don't want to be around the Borg.
The cooperative later. You get a little Borg rebels, the Matrix.
Oh yeah.
They make like a matrix inside of the Borg cubes, and like they all go in there.
You don't get that yet. It's all just straight Borg. There's not even a Borg queen.
No, but she talks later about how she liked Picard.
Locutus.
She was like, he's like, you needed somebody, a connection to humanity. And she's like, I don't need anybody. Here's my spine.
I didn't need anybody. I just needed somebody to talk to humans. Which they say in this episode. They're like, we want you because we want someone to speak to humanity for us. Someone with authority. So they choose a captain of one ship.
Yeah, because he has like the most, like, they're like, you're a captain of the most powerful ship or whatever, which is like a thing that they give a shit about.
It's true. They're not going to go after like the weird cow man that's the president of the Federation.
He's not the president anymore.
It hasn't happened yet. He didn't get fucked over yet, did he?
Wait, which one are you talking? Which cowman are you talking about? From Deep Space Nine?
Yeah, the guy from Deep Space Nine, the cow guy.
Yeah, I always think of Red Foreman.
Oh yeah, Red Foreman is like Fu Manchu.
He's like Raiden.
he's fucking President Raiden, 100%.
He's Pai Mei from fucking Kill Bill.
That's what I was trying to think of. He's fucking Pai Mei.
He makes everybody punch a wall a bunch of times.
That's how you get into his cabinet. You gotta do the 1-inch punch.
You punch into his cabinet, literally. You punch a cabinet, and then you're in.
So the episode begins. We'll hop right into that real quick. We'll do the beginning part of the episode before we take a break.
Cute.
The episode begins where the Enterprise has arrived at a planet, like a Federation outpost, a colony, that was sending out a distress signal that abruptly ended.
Scary.
So Riker, Data, Worf, and LaForge. I feel bad calling him Geordi since I call everybody else by their last name, so I'm really trying to say LaForge more.
Well, we're not We don't know him. We can. I mean, whatever. We're on the satellite. They're not gonna know.
I'm scared that the radio waves are eventually gonna reach where they're at, and they're gonna hear.
How far
about
away
it.
are we? We're on Buggy Planet, man. It's
Yeah.
gonna be a while. We'll be dead before the radio waves get there.
I feel like we should know the name of the planet that we're stationed at, but fuck it, right?
They say it. It's I don't know.
It's Dune Buggy
something-
Planet. Who cares?
Oh, you mean the planet where station? Oh yeah, no. Yeah, I don't know. It's something I forget.
The planet from this is Joret 4, because every
Joret
planet is
4.
4.
4, 3. It makes sense. Earth is 3. You'd think
It's
it
true.
would.
Terra 3.
They did find a solar system with 7 Goldilocks zone planets, though.
Holy shit! I want to live there.
It's crazy.
M-class planets.
It's crazy, dude.
But Worf tells Riker there's been no contact from the surface for 12 hours, and they can't pick up any signs of life on the surface.
I mean, they're probably fine.
Yeah, we'll go. They still have hope in their hearts, right? Like, we're gonna
Yeah.
head down there, and they're all just gonna be hunky-dory.
My favorite part is they get beamed down, and then, like, I think Geordi or one of them is like, O'Brien, check the coordinates. Are we at the right spot?
And he's like, yeah, you're at the center of town. And the camera
and there's,
pans back, and there's just a fucking 12-mile
crater.
long crater in the earth.
Yeah, like, maybe the first thought in your head is not, are we at the right spot, but, oh, shit, this
what
is
the
crazy.
fuck made this crater?
Yeah. You know you're in the right spot. Come on.
But the place is called New Providence, which is a very ironic name for a place that gets blown off the face of the planet.
Have you ever been to Providence, Rhode Island?
I have not. Is it a?
It's a 12-mile long crater. Yeah.
Fuck you, listeners from Providence, Rhode Island.
I actually have never been to
I
Providence.
haven't either. I don't know anything about it. I was talking because it's named Providence.
Yeah, like,
Which it's super ironic that it just got blown off the face of the planet, but
bye. Well, not only did it get blown off the face of the planet, but all the people are fucking slaves now. So that's cool.
yeah, they're all robot slaves forever, and there's
They'll die a horrible death and no one will ever know.
no saving them. Even though we save Picard later, somehow we can't
was only a
save
Borg for, like,
anybody
2 days.
else.
Well, they saved 7.
Yeah, but should they have?
I mean, getting those boobies back in the Federation isn't too bad.
I feel bad for that actress that had to wear like an outfit that she literally could not breathe in.
That's every actor in Star Trek, though. Like, I feel bad for her, too, because, like, obviously, like, I mean, it's her and, like, Jolene Blaylock, like, T'Pol, right? Like, they're just, like,
Well, that's
you guys
the thing is, like,
are,
they
like,
learned with T'Pol, like, her outfit is tight, but it's not, like, super skin tight. Like,
I have her outfit in Star Trek Online.
How does it feel?
Pretty good. It's very busty.
Like, her outfit is, like, an actual, like, breathing cat suit type thing. Like, the outfit
Yeah.
that 7 of 9 wore throughout most of Voyager is a literal mold of her body that she's just wearing on top of her body.
It's like Dita Von Teese latex, like,
Yeah.
where they, like, pour the latex on, and they don't, it's like, the only way to get it off is, like, cut it off.
Like, they had people waiting off camera with scissors to cut her out of that between
It's crazy.
scenes.
It's fucking crazy, dude.
And that's why, like, if you watch some episodes of Voyager, it looks like she's wearing different versions of the outfit throughout the
Because
episode.
they had slightly different...
Yeah, so they cut her out of one and had to, like, patch it back together between scenes, or else she would die.
You could have just made her, like, not wear that.
Yeah, but then you won't get the boobies on the TV.
That's right. The boobies.
And really, if you think Star Trek is about anything, it's gotta be tits, right?
Well, tits and giant vaginas that you can crawl up inside.
Man, if only. Am I right, Brandon Braga? Or am I right,
fellow Brandon Braga? You guys know what I'm talking about, right?
All us good Brandon Bragas out here on the internet, we know.
Just a bunch of Bragas hanging out, talking about Braga shit.
So if you have extra money on your hands right now, and you've already donated to all the good causes, go on over and find out if BrandonBraga.com is taken. And if it isn't, buy it and just put a lot of weird giantess fetish porn on it. And just leave it. Just leave it.
It's not. No, it's some kind of Japanese or Korean gambling website.
BrandonBraga.com.
I'm going to leave this because I'm pretty sure I just got hacked.
Oh yeah, Josh is for sure gonna vote Republican in the next election.
Dude, yeah, I don't know. Don't do it. It's
Yeah,
weird.
don't do it anymore. We learned this. It's a big mistake.
So somebody in Korea bought that domain and linked it to their weirdo gambling site.
Before we go to a break, I will say, I don't know, are we going to do a commercial after this to put into this, or should I hop into the pitch now?
Do it now!
I'll do it now! The month of June is Gay Pride Month. Woo! And Star Trek hasn't always been the best for LGBTQ plus issues in the fact that it's never touched on any of them and doesn't care. So, Ben Bueller thought it would be a great idea to sponsor the month of June of our podcast. Mm-hmm. And the way that works is if you head on over to patreon.com/mclasspodcast and pledge to MClass Podcast for the month of June, any amount over $500 that we have, Ben Bueller is going to match that and then donate it to the Trevor Project, which is a nonprofit organization committed to preventing suicide in LGBTQ plus youth. They're best known for the Trevor Lifeline Crisis Intervention Hotline they operate, but they also work in training, raising awareness, and advocacy relating to LGBTQ plus youth suicide prevention.
There you go. It's a great cause.
It is a great cause, and every dollar over 500, which we're already past at this point, so a lot of money is going to be going to the Trevor
make that
Project.
guy pay, really make him pay.
And what I learned today is that not only is Ben Bueller going to be paying out of pocket to match this donation, but Tapon himself of the Tapon's radio program is going to be matching that amount as well and donating it to the Trevor Project.
Tapon, I knew you had a heart.
He has a heart under that cold, green-blooded Vulcan exterior of his.
And it's located near his kidneys, apparently?
According to TOS Science, it does.
According to TOS Science in the third shitty Abrams movie. Well, it's not his at that point, but it's still shitty.
So yeah, you either add or increase your pledge at patreon.com/mclasspodcast for the month of June 2019 and keep it up through billing, and Ben and Tapon will both match the amount and donate it to the Trevor Project.
Nice.
If you would rather just go ahead and give to the Trevor Project and not give us any money, which is cool, we're cool with that.
Also acceptable, yes.
Head on over to give.thetrevorproject.org/USS Lollipop and hit donate. Dedicate that donation to M-Class Podcast.
That'd be awesome. And anything you do is great.
Absolutely. And there is an in-joke on the Patreon-exclusive Discord for M-Class Podcast, where after being quiet for ages, people will pop in, say one thing, and then say, "There, I contributed." And Ben was smart enough to snatch up thereicontributed.com, which also links to give.thetrevorproject.org/USS Lollipop. So you can go to either of those addresses in order to donate.
There it is. Nice. Captain Desrath.
Which is fucking amazing. So
there you go.
Thank you for that, Desrath, and thank you to everybody who has already upped your pledges ahead of time. You didn't have to do that, but fuck yeah, you're welcome to.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. This is a really good charity, and it's something that both Jeff and I really are behind. So it'd be cool. Anything you can do is cool.
Like even as like $1 does it, and like I said, if you don't want to support us, like you hate us, you hate all of our opinions, you can just
you hate listen to us, like I'm sure many of you do.
You can just go to thereicontributed.com.
I went there. It's not a Korean gambling site.
No, it is
actually
not. This time, for now.
For now.
So head on over there. Head on over to our Patreon and help a great cause in the Trevor Project. And after that commercial, you can listen to this commercial that has nothing to do with it, and we'll be right back.
It's probably for Legos.
Fuck yeah! We'll be right back after these messages.
They're the most powerful force in the universe. Now the Borg have the most destructive plan ever to conquer the human race.
You have committed acts of aggression against the United Federation of Planets.
Target 1, the Enterprise.
Directed, Det 9.
Geordi, evacuate engineering.
Target 2, Captain Picard.
Your culture will adapt to service ours.
We would rather die.
The final target,
Earth.
on the next exciting episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully, you'll buy that Lego set or whatever it was.
I'm not gonna remember to put a Lego. I think I
No.
put a Lego last time, so I'm not gonna do it again.
Really, hopefully you give money to our Patreon or the Trevor Project. That's what you should probably get.
Yeah,
out of
that's
the
the
commercial
real
break.
thing you should do.
So let's hop into the show. We found out the New Providence colony got fucking blown off the face of the earth.
Oh, whatever. Juret Earth.
Yeah.
Juret 4.
Gillette 4 Earth.
The best a man can get.
Not anymore, thanks to the Borg. R.I.P.
Bye.
Gillette Company.
We shouldn't have moved to Juret 4. What were we thinking?
Fucking Gillette 4 got destroyed because people were real mad that it told them to be better men. Haha, topical! Topical
Nice.
humor.
That's an evergreen. That's evergreen.
I definitely didn't date this podcast. Actually, I dated this podcast like a couple months ago.
Yeah, it's already old. Like, it's already dated. So, it's fine.
So anyway, another starship shows up, and on board is Admiral Hansen and...
Admiral Handsome.
No. Admiral Hansen.
Admiral Handsome is like, I'm 207 years old.
Yeah, he's like, fuck, I gotta pee every 20 minutes.
They tried to get Ernest Borgnine, but he was too expensive, so they got Dollar Store Ernest Borgnine.
I played Ernest Borgnine's stunt double in 73 films.
I don't even know. George Murdoch.
That's a great last
That
name.
sounds familiar as fuck. He's in something.
Probably, but he shows up with Lieutenant Commander Shelby.
Oh, Shelby.
Shelby is a firecracker.
I don't know what to feel about this.
And she's like, look, we are completely unprepared for the Borg showing up. Like, they were not supposed to be here for a couple years.
Yeah.
It's very rude of them. They should have called ahead.
Why are they doing this now? It's Memorial Day. I have a picnic to go to.
We have to do something about Gillette 4 now.
I guess we gotta, like, feel bad about this shit now or whatever.
That's the future I know, where everybody's like, I guess I have to feel bad.
I mean, like, it's crazy, though, because, like, this major catastrophe, like, crazy thing just happened. But it's like, we don't even care because, like, there's bigger fucking problems coming, right?
Oh yeah, they talk about the death toll down there. They were like, there were 600 people or something, and everybody's just like,
That's it?
fuck that. The Borg are here.
What I've learned is never be a colonist in Star Trek.
Fuck
Don't
no, dude.
ever do it. You're safer on a starship, like, dealing with crazy shit.
Really, the safest place to be is a space station.
Yeah.
Because nothing ever happens at space stations. Like,
Like
tribbles show up, maybe?
Dude, if you're like a McKinley station, like the one that's like next to Earth, like the one that just is like
Oh, yeah,
near,
space
the
dock, yeah.
space dock or whatever, like just fucking that's great. Just teleport up there every day. You could live wherever you want, right?
Yeah, that sounds like a cushy gig.
Probably is like too cushy.
Yeah, you don't get to see a lot of space that way.
You get to see the moon and the cities on the moon.
That's
New Berlin, Tycho City.
But like Shelby is an expert on dealing with the Borg, even though she's never seen one.
Yeah, she's an up and comer.
Yeah,
She's like real ambitious.
yeah. She's like, look, I want to go down to the colony site as quickly as possible, and they're like, well, it's nighttime, so we don't know
Yeah.
what's down there, so we can't. We gotta wait until tomorrow.
Yeah, also cool it.
And Riker is like, he's like, Admiral Hansen, we have a poker night, and you're welcome to come to it. And Admiral Hansen is like, 600 people died, Riker.
Admiral
The
Hansen's like-
Borg are on their way.
The adults have to take care of the situation. Go play your silly games.
Yeah, and he's like, okay.
And she's like, or he's like, but I heard Commander Shelby plays good poker.
Yeah. And then there's a really weird moment where, like, they leave, and Picard's like, oh, it seems like you're quite taken with her. And he's like, yeah, I'm having weird old man sex fantasies about her.
Yeah, it's like, maybe not the best thing to say.
Yeah, if I was Picard, I'd be like, we have an HR department, Admiral. Like, keep it in your pants.
Also, it just, like, solidifies that admirals are awful.
Oh, yeah. There's no such thing as 100% good admiral. They always have some weird shit about them.
There's always some kind of dark shit going on.
Yeah, he's like, oh, just the fantasies of an old man. And, like, Picard should have been like, okay.
That's not what I meant.
I thought you meant, like,
professionally.
Yeah, I was trying to say professionally. Like, she was really good at her job.
Yeah.
And he's like, I thought you meant that I wanted to fuck her, because I do.
Yeah, because I totally do. And thank God for space Viagra.
Yeah, like, thank God for holodecks, am I right?
Yeah, or as I like to call it, sex time.
Or as I like to call it, fucking Shelby times.
Computer, load up program Shelby Fuck 1.
No. The computer goes, no. But he's like, yeah, she should be your first officer. And Picard's like, I already got a first officer. I got a damn good first officer.
Yeah.
And it turns out that Riker has been offered the captain's seat of the USS Melbourne, which is the third command position he's been offered.
Yeah, it was. I don't remember them all. The Hood was one.
It was the Drake and the Ares.
The Hood is later, maybe?
Yeah, the Hood is later. He actually ends up on the Hood after the show's over.
No, he ends up on, no, not the Hood. Is it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm gonna look it up.
You look it up. You'll find out that old Jeff knows what the fuck he's talking about, I bet you. But Riker's turned down.
No, it's the Titan. It's the Titan.
Oh, shit, you're right. It turns out old Jeff ain't right sometimes.
Win one for the Gipper.
It's a win for Google right there, since you didn't know.
I remembered it. No, I remembered it. I can't prove this, but I rembered it.
I believe you. I believe it was a win for old Joshy. He's on top of his game again after his illness.
I'm back, baby.
But Admiral Hanson's like, yeah, you need to tell Riker that he should take this captaincy, because like his career is gonna suffer if he keeps turning down these seats. If eventually they're not gonna offer him them anymore. Which
is bullshit. Like, that's not how that works. But I guess, like, you're like I don't know. I like this part because, like, it kind of shows you, like, where their head's not in the game, right? Like, they're like, we have, like, a serious, like, literally the end of the Federation is, like, flying toward us, and, like, they're like, but the politics of promotions, and it's like guys.
Riker's career path and trajectory is being damaged. Like, this is not the time or place to be discussing this.
It doesn't matter, right? Like, it doesn't matter.
But Riker takes Shelby to her quarters, and she has a theory for how to follow the Borg.
Yeah.
And it's an energy signature that was left behind when the Enterprise contacted the Borg. They call it the Borg footprint, which is a terrible name for it, really, I think.
They couldn't have called it, like, the Borg signal, or, like
the Borg
give it a cool
energy
name.
signature. Like, anything that relates to what it is.
Project Tomahawk.
Yeah, that'd be fucking awesome. Name it that.
They would codename that shit. It's probably, like, the most fucking secret shit ever, right? Like, they're not telling people about this shit.
They're probably not telling people on Earth about the Borg coming to fuck them up.
That would be so scary.
Oh, yeah. But, like, Shelby's like, yeah, we need to do the Borg footprint or whatever. Like, we need to find out if the planet that had been, like, turned into a crater town
has that signature.
Yeah,
right?
It has that signature. And I was trying to remember the name of it and couldn't for some reason.
Gillette 4.
Yeah, Gillette 4.
Gillette 4, the best a man can get.
And she's like, yeah, here's the members I want on my team. I want Geordi, I want Data, and
I want all the cool guys. Worf, Geordi, Data.
I don't want any of the losers. Don't want
no
Will
losers.
Wheaton.
No Will Wheaton. Maybe Guinan.
Yeah, get Guinan on that one.
She'll make an appearance later. Let's get her in here.
But Riker, like, hops in and he's like, yeah, I already assigned him to the away team, and also I'm coming too. And Shelby's like, look, I want your job.
Yeah, she's a little forward, which I really like in a lady. So at this point, like, it's great because, like, they're, like, really fucking with you, right? Because you're like, obviously you love Riker at this point. Like, he's your friend, you like him, and you're like, man, fuck this bitch, right?
Yeah,
like who is this bitch coming in here telling me?
Yeah, she's like, I didn't know that you, like, I thought you'd already left the position, that you were going to become a captain, and he's like, well, I'm sure you'll be the first one to know if that actually happens.
Yeah, they're, like, really snipping at each other.
Yeah, this is, like, a recurring theme in TNG, in Riker-centric episodes.
Like with Ro, when, like, they, like, are, like, hate each other, but then they lose their memories and they fuck each other.
Well, yeah. I don't know if that's quite the same, but it's like anytime a character gets introduced who in any way, shape, or form is mentioned as being similar to what Riker used to be like.
Yeah, he hates them.
He will hate them. No one hates Commander Will Riker more than Commander
Riker.
Will Riker.
It's great. It's true. It's like you hate people that are like you.
Yeah.
I don't, but
like,
I mean, I'm the greatest.
Of course. Shelby is like the early Riker, like the command chain climbing Riker who would dump his girlfriend and leave her on a planet so that he could get a rank up in Starfleet.
You'll be fine on Gillette 4. Nothing's gonna happen. I'll be back.
But he invites her to the poker game because poker in TNG is always a metaphor for interpersonal conflict.
Yeah, just like in real life. Straight flush.
Straight flush. You're a bitch and our marriage is over. At the card game, everybody's favorite Wesley Crusher is there.
Oh, for God's sake.
Along with Troy, Data, and Geordi. And
Troy's the dealer, which is weird. Usually it's Data, right?
Yeah, somebody like pointed out like a long time ago that Riker wins at cards all the time, and he's playing against a robot, a guy who could see through cards, and an empath.
Yeah, he must be like amazing.
Yeah, he must be
poker.
the greatest card player that ever lived,
or the luckiest man alive. Just getting good hands and shit.
Instead, he loses because he gets called on his bluff. He's apparently like really great at bluffing, even though like there's an empath sitting right next to him.
Yeah. Maybe she, like, turns it off or whatever.
She should. I don't know if you can, though.
Does she have, like, a Cerebro that she can, like, put on her head?
She puts
like
Magneto's helmet on. And
yeah, like the Juggernaut, like you can't read his mind or whatever.
What metal do you put on your head that blocks psychic rays?
Is it adamantium?
Is my question.
I feel like it's adamantium. Is it not?
Well,
did I make that up?
They can read Wolverine's mind, so nah, it can't be adamantium.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
But like Riker loses to Shelby, and Shelby is very smug. She's very smug about it.
Yeah, she like wins, right? Like Riker's having a bad day. Like I feel for him because he's like he loves his job, he loves his family on the ship, like, you know what I mean? And like he's just having like a really shitty day. And like he loses at his game, and it's like that's not the first time he's ever lost a hand. That's crazy, right? Like he's not invincible at poker.
It's a metaphor for what's going wrong around him.
Right, but he feels it more because it's like a sign to him, right?
Especially, like, his whole problem in this episode isn't so much Shelby herself, it's what she represents.
Yeah.
She represents the old Will Riker who would do anything to, like, gain a better seat on the ship. To, like, head towards that captaincy. It's all he wanted, was to be a captain.
Yeah, but now he doesn't. It's great. It's a really cool. His character is like way underrated.
Oh,
like,
I agree. I love Riker.
I love that he like is like, no, that's not what's important now. Like I love that. It's great.
And like he really does change as a character. Like Shelby is willing to do whatever is necessary very quickly. Like she doesn't weigh the lives around her as heavily as Will does.
Right.
Like Riker,
well, she doesn't know them, you know what I mean? Like she doesn't really care about them.
Like they're all faceless numbers to her for the most part. Like she feels on a human level that they're human beings, but like she doesn't know them in the way Riker does.
She's playing the Game of Thrones, and in the Game of Thrones, you either win or you go home early.
You go home in a grave.
And what do you say to the Borg? You say, "Not today, Borg."
What?
What do you say to the many-faced god, right? Is that what it is? Is that
I don't know.
Did you not watch it?
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think I watched Game of Thrones.
We gotta watch Battlestar first.
Yeah, like, I don't know. I was never that interested in Game of Thrones, I guess. I don't know.
Well, here's a little. I was gonna save this for later, but without this episode, you don't get any of that stuff.
Oh, sure. Like
this changed. I read an article, and I really wish I remember where it was or who wrote it. I don't. This was like a year ago about how this episode like changed television because like shows didn't end like this. Like seasons didn't end like this.
They didn't end with like the giant.
This is like one.
Like cliffhanger.
Like cliffhanger. Yeah, it's like one of the first instances of like a serious cliffhanger where people were like, "What?" And like, you know, seasons back then were a lot more like, I didn't know when Star Trek was coming back. There's no internet. I can't like look up like a fucking, you know, I gotta like read the trades in Hollywood to find that shit out.
You gotta pick up that fucking TV guide.
Dude, well, you had to wait for the TV guide. You had to get it. Your mom had to get it at the fucking store.
That's right. It only comes out once a month.
Yeah, once a month. It had to be sent to your ass. And then you sit there and it gets all crinkly because your dad and shit puts like beer on it.
Yeah, it gets all crinkly and terrible because it's made out of the cheapest paper that was ever made by human beings.
It's like newsprint. It's ridiculous,
terrible.
Dude. And it would be like shitty articles about like, dumb crap.
The thing is, the TV guide was the only way you knew what was on TV. You were supposed to keep it. But it was made out of such shit.
Shit was like fucking fly by night back then. People were just living like moment to moment. We're like fucking cavemen, dude.
It's true. Like I think of a lot about what the world was like. I lived in this world before cell phones, before internet, before you knew what was going to be on TV next.
It was great. In a way, it was super great. In a way, it sucked because
in a way, it sucked dick, and I never want to go back there.
Yeah, because television like really sucked. Like it was really shitty.
Like I remember, I was just sitting and watching, like in the background, like Different Strokes was on or something. And I never even liked Different Strokes.
Yeah, but you watched it because it was on
drawing or something, or like playing a Game Boy game. Yeah, and it went off, and fucking Family Matters came on, and I was amped.
Yeah, man. Well, that was it. Like Friday night, like you sat around and you watched TV because like that's when the shows were on. It was crazy. It was a crazy time. Now it's like if I want to watch fucking Full House, I can just watch it whenever the goddamn shit I want to.
Like I used to get like amped. Like I was amped that time specifically because it was they started rerunning Family Matters.
Yeah,
like they hadn't done that up until that point. That's a weird thing that people don't even think about. Where, like, you would see an episode of a show, and then for, like, 4 or 5 seasons, you would never see that episode again.
Yeah, you had to watch it and remember it. Like, you couldn't see it again. Like, they weren't going to show it again.
Until they put that shit in syndication in another station, you'd start to see it. And, like, I was amped. I was like, fuck yeah, I love Family Matters.
And now you can fucking watch it, like, over and over again so much that you find, like, coffee cups and scenes, and people freak out.
Dude, it was so unrealistic when Urkel was drinking that 2019 fucking coffee.
And then he complained about Starbucks coffee cups because it didn't say Merry Christmas on them.
Yeah, that's Urkel through and through there.
That's class. That's more Stefan.
Yeah, Stefan Urkel would say that shit for sure.
Yeah, he was too cool to drink Starbucks, though.
He always supported local breweries, coffee breweries,
micro breweries.
Yeah. Anyway, Shelby and Riker are kind of already at odds with each other. However, they're supposed to meet the next day at sunrise.
Yeah, to go down
to the planet.
Yeah.
And she just goes without him. She shows up an hour early and goes without him. And we as an audience are like, why the fuck would you do that? Just tell him. He's your commanding officer at this point.
It's all like head games, but like that's the thing is like it makes you as like a viewer like question her, but like I mean in any other circumstance like maybe that wouldn't have been a bad thing, right? She's just getting there early.
If there wasn't a military structure going on, it wouldn't be a bad thing,
right?
But, like, you start to think that, like, what would happen if there would have been Borg on the planet at that point? Like, she and Data would have just been murdered.
Well, the Borg would have found out about that. They know about the Borg footprint, and that would have been a problem.
Yeah. And especially, like, I would never forgive the character of Shelby if Data got hurt. Like, how dare you?
Yeah. We're not ready for him to get blown up yet.
I was never ready for him
He
to
comes
get blown
back.
up.
I mean, unfortunately, we don't get any of that, but he does come
No,
back.
he comes back in B4's brain.
He Spocks. He Spocks himself into B4. It's like poetry. It rhymes.
Right, and hopefully it'll work out.
It's like poetry. It rhymes.
We've never had a funnier character than B4.
B4's hilarious. He says things like, excuse me. That's not what the word is. It's excuse me.
We're gonna put that on a T-shirt.
We're going to sell so much. I'm so rich.
But like, Riker handles this very professionally. Like, there are all these like fucking opinion blogs out there. Riker's an asshole, and they use this episode.
I don't follow that. Fuck them. Fuck those blogs. Fuck all
agree.
blogs, but specifically those.
Like, that he's an asshole in this episode, but he is very tactful in the way he does this. He
He's
says,
in charge.
"Walk with me."
Yeah, he's in charge.
When he walks with her, he just says, you know, like, this is not how the structure,
Right.
like, the power structure works. You have to let me know.
That shit ain't gonna fly with Picard, dude. You're not gonna be able to just go, like, I'm gonna go early. Like, that's not how it goes.
Like, I gave you strict orders, right? Like, you can't just go around my orders like that. And she's, like, noted for future reference, like, you're a lieutenant commander. You know about the fucking command structure.
Yeah, she's like, she really is like, thinks she has this in the bag, right? Like, it's like crazy. Because, like, she
says
probably.
straight up that
Yeah.
Riker is standing in her way. She, like, you're supposed to interpret that to be, like, the position she wants, but she means, like, her goals right now as well.
Right. Yeah, she's kind of off-putting, but, like, at the same time, like, man, she's, like, awesome, right? Like she's like a strong woman.
Really,
it's great.
really good at what she does. As
Yeah.
well.
Like,
Like-
and that's what I mean. Like, it really fucks you up because, like, you're like, well, I like Riker, and if she's like Riker, then I like her, right? It's like the transitive property or the commutative property or one of those.
It's one of the properties.
It's
It's the Property Brothers.
and it's like she's like a capable, awesome Starfleet officer. Like, what's not to like? But because you like Riker, you're like,
she
fuck
goes to
her.
my boy Riker.
Yeah, you get like for like the personal, and this is like, you know, what Roddenberry like never wanted conflict between people, but this is such a good way to like kind of
Oh
like,
yeah, they dropped
sidestep
that shit though. Like right after he
Yeah,
died, they were like,
but
"We're
this
not
is
doing
like-
that anymore."
But this is like a smart like sidestep to that, right?
Oh,
like
yeah.
they're not just like, oh, you suck.
They're
Like that's like what it is
cursing
now.
and shitting on each other or whatever.
Yeah. They don't like it's not like the lunchroom and like someone looks at somebody the wrong way. Like it's fucking high school, right? Like there's like
That
a
happens
well
in,
thought out.
That happens in Discovery.
I know,
Lunchroom brawl.
I remember. That's what I'm talking about. It's ridiculous.
But they after she gets her little reprimand from Riker, although I wouldn't even call it a reprimand.
5
really.
demerits.
10 points from Gryffindor.
10 points. Dude, she's not Gryffindor. She's like Ravenclaw or
Nah,
some
she's
shit.
for sure Gryffindor with that fucking like
She's red.
climbing that ladder, hardcore personality.
Gryffindor.
She's Gryffindor. What are you, Josh?
Most people think I'm Slytherin, but that's not true.
No, I would say you're Gryffindor person.
That's what I would say. I get Ravenclaw.
because I'm Gryffindor.
We're the same.
Yeah, we're the same dude.
People think like I'm like real mean or whatever, but like they don't remember that like James Potter was a dickhead.
It's true. Like you're
was
nowhere
Gryffindor.
near as big of a dickhead as James Potter and his friends.
I'm not
so-
lifting up Snape and like twirling him around in the air or anything. I don't do that shit.
Well, my wife Crystal's gonna listen to this and get mad, but fucking Snape's a dickhead. Like,
Yeah, I don't like Snape.
He got bullied, and I feel really bad for him.
Yeah, but
like,
also, he
he basically tortures a boy because his mother wouldn't have sex with him back in the day.
That's pretty fucked up.
So not great.
The real way to torture him would to have sex with her.
Yeah, but he couldn't do that. Like he called her a mudblood. I wouldn't have sex with somebody that called me a mudblood.
Yeah, plus she's a ghost and it would be like real hard.
Yeah, especially since like James Potter is always right next to her as a ghost as well.
Do you think that they have to
it'd be
like,
really awkward?
part of the rules that you have to hang out with your wife when you're dead?
I guess. Eventually they're like, man, I really wish I could have like 5 minutes to myself.
I wish this kid would stop fucking with this stone so I could like take a piss break.
Let's take a spectral piss break.
Take an ectoplasmic piss break.
Piss out all my ecto cooler.
Delicious. So
That's
good.
where it comes from.
I
I don't make the
love
rules.
it. I don't care. I don't care if it's Slurm. I'll drink it. I don't give a shit. I'll drink Slurm.
Ecto Cooler is ghost piss. You heard it here first,
Look it up.
everybody. And it's delicious.
Prove him wrong, bitch. You can't.
Shelby tells Riker that the area's soil has the same Borg footprint that was in the ship when they messed with him, so the colony was obliterated by the Borg.
Well, thank God we 9/11 commissioned that one. Take that. 9/11 commission.
It's a good reference, Josh. It's a
Yeah.
strong one.
I was there.
You were in the commission?
No. I mean, I was alive.
Oh, yeah. I was also alive.
Yeah.
I imagine most of our listeners were alive.
It's weird when there's like a child who like doesn't remember that shit, and you're like, yeah, you don't have any idea how crazy that shit was.
We said we would remember it, but they weren't even there. How are they
can
going to
remember it? They weren't even alive.
But the Enterprise gets left. The Admiral takes the fuck off. He's like, I'm getting out of here.
Yeah, he's got like a
runs
meeting.
away.
He's got like a board meeting or something. I don't know.
I gotta go to the Borg meeting. I mean, Borg meeting.
Oh, that one was good. I liked it.
I know. Fucking put that in the Hall of Fame. Put that on the shelf next to the Gold Star.
Shared it.
Shelby talks to Picard, and no, Riker goes to talk to Picard, and Picard's like, "What do you think of Lieutenant or Commander Shelby?" And Riker's
Yeah.
like, she knows her stuff.
Yeah, he does the compliment sandwich.
Yeah, he knows her stuff, but she does take initiative a little too easy, takes risks too much,
And Picard's like, kind of like another young man I once knew, who I recruited as a lieutenant commander.
And Riker is Picard Reese's the Wise?
Hello, it's me, Captain Picard. Now let me read you this email.
But like, he's like, it's very similar to you, Riker, and Riker's like, yeah, I fucking guess.
Yeah, and he gets like real mad. He puts his leather jacket on and kicks the wall.
He fucking punches the wall and then hops on his Harley and drives away.
He kicks his locker and he gets the fuck out.
But Picard's like, what the hell are you still doing here, Will? And Riker's like, you didn't dismiss me. What are you talking
He's
about?
like, what are you talking about? Yeah.
And Picard like goes into this whole fucking spiel about like, you need to reconsider. I'm ordering you to reconsider.
Yeah, which sucks, man. It's like your dad like yelling at you, and you're like,
your dad's like, get the fuck out of my house. You're old
Yeah.
enough. Get the fuck out.
Except my dad was like, no, I'm leaving. and I was like, cool, I get to play Sonic now.
Yeah, it's a good thing this series will be good forever.
It'll never go down. Sonic 3 is the best game ever.
Sonic will never let me down.
Not even in movie form.
Man, they're gonna fix it, Josh. They're gonna fix that guy.
Good thing they listened to all those nerds and did what they wanted.
Yeah, I love how people blame all those nerds. Like,
Yeah.
they've been complaining about shit forever. This is the first time it worked.
You just have
Nobody
to
expected
stop.
it to work.
You just gotta be like, look, this is what he looks like. Get over
Just
it.
fucking, you're gonna go see the movie anyway.
Yeah.
Suck my dick.
You're gonna go hate see it. It doesn't matter. And then you're gonna love it because it's Sonic. Fuck it.
There are a
Fuck
lot
it.
of people who saw that abomination in fucking God's eyes, and they were like, hey, this is pretty good. I like it.
Yeah.
And I wonder, like, how deep down the rabbit hole can you go as, like, a Sonic apologist? Like, what would you accept?
I think you just answered your own question. You're a Sonic apologist. That's like rock bottom for most human
Well,
beings.
it's like, what is is there a too far, though, that, like, no Sonic fan would accept it? Like, if Sonic came out and he had, like a tiny mustache, and he sig-heiled, and he said that
I'm sure a lot of them would love that. A lot of fucking
all Sonic fans are Jewish, and
Jesus Christ.
like he was just a horrible monster, and he specifically attacked his own fans. Would there still be fans of Sonic who would be like, I love it?
Yes, because Utopia can't be real. It's the same mentality. It's the same shit. It's always just like, oh, well, things are just like this now. And it's like,
Yes.
things are horrible now? Yeah, you're right there.
Just accept how terrible everything is, because if you work at it, and it would change, but you won't, so it won't.
Yeah, eat your horrible soup. You're going to eat it anyway. Just eat it. Shove it down your fucking gullet.
I'd like to asterisk this whole conversation by saying that I really love Sonic 1, 2, 3, and Sonic and Knuckles. Those are really great games.
Those are great games. Sonic 2 is my favorite. I love that game.
Sonic 2 is my favorite too. That's awesome.
I love Tails, and you can fly.
Did you ever put that fucking supersonic code in?
Yeah, dude.
Fuck yeah.
I had a Game Shark.
So you just put it in the fucking sound menu.
Oh, that's right.
I could probably do it from muscle memory at this point because I did it so much.
That's occupying precious RAM in your brain.
Oh, no doubt. Like, I don't remember how to do anything in geometry anymore, but I could fucking play a supersonic right now.
I was okay at geometry. I was really good at algebra, but then, like, calculus, I was like, man, this is like fucking space math. I don't fucking know how to do this.
I was never good at math my whole life. Like, I think the best math grade I ever got was a B+. So
that's pretty good. Math's hard, man. Some people aren't good at it.
Dick. Anyway, Picard yells at his son, and his son goes to get a drink to feel better.
Yeah, and
he's hanging out with Troy.
Yeah,
and Riker's like, you know, maybe I'm just too complacent. She's right. Maybe I'm like a piece of shit and I'll never be good enough and Dad'll never love me.
And Troy's all like super professional therapist mode where she's
like, how do you feel about it?
Yeah, and like, God damn it.
I'm trying to talk to my friend, Deanna. And she's like, well, maybe you shouldn't have left me on the fucking planet to get a rank up, asshole.
Damn, here we go.
He even references that. She's just like,
Yep.
And she says that he's more seasoned.
Yeah, and he says, that's
like,
not a great thing to say to a man.
He's like, what a terrible thing to say to a man.
Yeah. You gotta season that dick, buddy.
That's right. Well-seasoned dick.
Put some fucking crab fry stuff on. What is it called? Old Bay.
Don't put anything on your dick that has the word crab in it, I'd say.
Sex bugs.
Ugh. But she basically just says, like, what do you want?
Yeah.
Like, you're the only one that can answer that question. What do you want?
That's, like, not what people who are in his situation want to hear, though.
No, it's the only thing you can tell them, though.
I know.
Really.
But, like, you know, nobody wants to hear that shit.
No.
What do you want? Well, I don't know. That's why I'm fucking talking to you, dude.
That's why I'm talking to you about it. Well, I'm not gonna fucking pick it for you, buddy.
Well, fucking just let me talk it out. Let me punch my locker and figure this shit out.
I've never punched anything in anger. I never have.
Not even a person?
I've learned, well, okay, I've punched a person in anger.
There you go.
But I've never punched an inanimate object in anger. It's easier to punch the person, I guess.
Yeah. People feel that hurts them.
Yeah, and it feels good to me to do.
That's why we can't live in a utopia, Jeff.
It's true. We're all our base fucking instincts and
we're all
monstrous.
our worst parts of ourselves. There's no redeeming factors to humanity.
So, like, Troy doesn't really help him much, I guess. She's basically like, you gotta figure it out, buddy, anyway.
Yeah.
Probably shouldn't have left me on that planet. Maybe I'd help you more. Anyway, bye.
Gotta go, bye.
Shelby puts together her dream team of Data,
Michael Jordan,
computer.
Charles Barkley, Patrick Ewing, John Stockton.
Shelby puts together her dream team that includes Data, a supercomputer that can think and learn like a human being. Mm-hmm. Geordie LaForge, the
Who
smartest
can slam
man
dunk
on the
from
ship.
the foul line.
the smartest man on the ship, capable of doing the impossible in less time than he even thinks he's capable of doing it.
Yeah.
And Wesley Crusher, the doctor's son.
And Wesley Crusher, who is like the Chris Mullen of the stream team.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's a reference.
How did he get here?
That's a reference that maybe two people get. I bet Jack
got
Carpenter knows it. Yeah, I know you got it.
But like they're working like really late at night and like they're really super tired about it. And Shelby's like, no, we need to keep working. And Riker's like, no, like I'm ordering you guys to go to sleep, get some rest. Shelby gets pissed. She's like, well, I want to work with Data then because he doesn't need rest.
Yeah, and he's like, you do.
Riker's like, yeah, you do. Like, I don't want my people fighting sleepy time tea when they're trying to fight the Borg.
Sleepy time tea sucks.
And Shelby's all mad about it. Like, that's the thing is, like, Shelby's not thinking about the consequences of her actions. She's just making actions.
Yeah, she's like a teenager, right? Like, she's young. She's like a kid. She doesn't think, like, well, if I don't go to sleep now, tomorrow's gonna suck. It's tomorrow's tomorrow. I don't care right now, right?
Like she comes up with the idea to, like, separate the saucer section
Yeah.
in a minute. And the thing about that is, she's like, it creates 2 targets for the Borg.
Right.
However, if one target is hit, they can fight back very well.
Right.
If the other target is hit, it is literally full to the brim with civilians.
Yeah, the saucer doesn't have the photons. It only has the phasers, which, like, don't really do anything against the Borg.
Like, that is incredibly dangerous, and, like, she doesn't even think about that. She's just like, 2 targets. What are they gonna do?
Yeah, it's pure, like, tactics. It's not, like, logistics at all. It's just all, like, but this is a tactical advantage, but it's not, really.
And it's more of a liability than it is anything. You're creating a situation where you're half power and one of your halves has civilians
and
that you can't protect.
The one can't go to warp. The saucer can't go to warp. So, like, you should just, like, let the saucer go and, like, hide it somewhere. Like, they should hide it in that nebula. That would be
smart. It's like, do a battle bridge scenario where you just get the saucer away.
Yeah.
But, anyway... we're gonna take another break.
Yeah.
And we will be right back after these following messages. After these messages,
we'll be right
back.
McDonald's presents...
Presents? Did someone say presents? A present for moi?
I once got a present. Wow, special delivery.
I'll look for the present somewhere else.
When you buy your kids McDonald's Happy Meal featuring Muppet Babies, they get a Muppet Babies figure with a push toy different Muppet Babies can share, plus neat cutouts on the box.
Kermit, surf's up.
McDonald's Happy Meal featuring Muppet Babies. Collect all 4.
Including one.
And we're back from those messages.
Yeah, we did come right back.
I forget the tune that plays when you come back.
I can find them. I'll put one in, maybe, if I remember.
Here's hoping. But the next day, all the senior officers get called to the observation lounge.
Yeah.
And Admiral Hansen is like, "Hey, the USS Layla,
Layla? Layla?
L-E-I-L-A,
Layla?
Laylo.
Okay. I don't know what that
reported a distress call that they had contact with an alien cube-shaped vessel, but now they're missing.
Who could it be?
Uh-oh. So the Enterprise heads there at warp 9, maximum warp.
Punch it, Chewie.
And the Admiral tells Picard that all of the starships that are available are on their way, but like the closest one is 6 days away.
Yeah, see, this is what Q was talking about. You guys are, like, way too spread out.
Yeah. It's like 6 fucking days at maximum warp. Could you imagine that?
It's crazy.
And
it's, like, crazy.
That's the thing is, like, they work on a completely different timetable that we don't understand. Like, whenever Geordi's talking about, like, fixing something on the ship, he's like, well, I could have it done pretty quickly. Give me, like, 2 days.
Yeah.
Or give me 48 hours, give me 72 hours, and they're like, make it so. Like, that's real fast, thanks. If I told a boss that it would take me 2 days to do something, I'd be on my ass on the street instantly.
Yeah, but also, like, it's like quantum physics and shit.
It's fucking...
It's, like, hard.
You ever worked in an office? They don't give a fuck if it's quantum physics.
I know.
You better have that shit done in the next couple hours, boy.
Jeff, this is why we can't have a utopia. Bosses.
Yeah. Maybe if they all die off at a certain age.
Maybe it's...
This is why humans live so long in the future. Actually.
They don't have anything to worry about.
It's like, in the far future, humans live to be like 180 years old and shit, because, like, you need to. It takes, like, 6 days at maximum warp to get places.
Which is, like, instantaneous, honestly, because it's like you're traveling, like, several hundred light years.
You're traveling across entire goddamn galaxies.
Yeah, you're, like, going from one end of the Federation to the other in 2 weeks. It's like... a fucking miracle, honestly.
It's wild, but Picard's like, we'll keep them busy. And all I could think of was, for 6 days?
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah, you're not gonna last 6 days. You're not gonna last 6 minutes, dude.
Yeah, Picard talks to Geordi about, like, how close to combat readiness they are, but Geordi's like, we're not.
Yeah.
Like, he says it's a shot in the dark. It's a crapshoot.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they head there.
I'd be not psyched about this.
Yeah,
I'd be like,
this is a suicide mission.
This is gonna suck.
It's fucking straight up suicide mission, bro. And they head towards the last location of the Lalo.
Yeah, by Lalo.
And like, it's not even that long. Like, the ship is moving to intercept. So like they meet somewhere in the middle. It doesn't even take the 6 days.
Right.
And Picard says, contact Starfleet and let them know we've engaged the Borg.
I love that. I love it.
And then the music goes dun dun dun.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite moments though, when like they're like it's within visual range and it comes on the screen and the music is like dead quiet. Like they show it pops up and it's dead quiet.
It's great.
And then he's like, zoom in and it goes bloop dun dun dun.
Super Star Trek. Like old Star Trek. So good.
I fucking love that so much. Like I couldn't help but laugh. It's so cheesy and fun. I loved it.
It's super like 90s as fuck.
But like the Borg hail Picard, not the Enterprise. They hail Picard. And they're like, we want Picard. We want you to surrender to us.
Yeah.
And they're like, what the fuck? Why do they want Picard?
They love his bald head.
And they're like, give him to us. We need him to complete our collection of Star Trek memorabilia.
The Queen wants to fuck him.
The Queen likes his shiny bald head a lot.
It looks like our heads. We don't have hair for some reason. I don't know.
Interestingly enough, I think there have been StarTrek.com like votes about who the sexiest guy in Star Trek is, and Picard always ranks either number 1 or number 2.
Well, he's super charming. He's British.
He's charming. He's got that authority thing going.
Yeah, he's dad-like. They like the DILFs.
He's got like family issues.
Yeah, he's kind of a bad boy, but not a bad boy.
Yeah, he breaks Starfleet protocol all the time, but only for the right reasons.
Yeah, he reminds me of a young me.
A young me.
I think they modeled him after me.
It's true.
I can't prove it, but
they were like, I know this 7-year-old that'll be real good. We'll model his character after him.
He's got super bright orange hair right now, but like one day he'll be bald.
They know. They can just tell.
They know.
He's flying too close to the sun on Icarus wings.
His hair is like fluorescent orange. That can't last forever.
They start to fight. And the Borg cube captures the Enterprise in a tractor beam, and the Enterprise is like, they fire everything. It's not like a normal battle.
Yeah, they're going crazy. They're just like, shoot everything.
Like in a normal Star Trek battle, it's like fire photon torpedoes, fire pew, fire phasers, bzzz, and that's it. But in this one, it's like bzzz, boop, beep, 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 beep,
yeah, it's just hitting the side like nothing's happening.
It's like flies ramming against a window.
It's like throwing your gun at Superman. It's just, why would you do that?
It is like the guys who empty their clip into Superman and then throw the gun.
Yeah, they're just like, like freaking out. They're just like, oh god!
There's a great moment in the comic where, like, they open fire on Superman and then they throw the gun at him and Wonder Woman is with Superman. Yeah. And she goes, did he just throw his gun at you? And Superman says, yeah, they do it every time. I don't know why.
I don't understand. Oh, Superman.
But Shelby sort of gets up and she runs over to Data and she says, modulate the phaser frequencies.
Change the frequency, yeah.
And it works. It breaks the tractor beam.
Yeah.
And Picard is like get the fuck out of here. We're peacing out, everybody.
We ain't ready for this shit. We didn't even level up. We should have grinded more.
Should have fucking taken that tribble mission. 11 crew members were killed and 8 are missing at this point.
Yeah,
just from that, like, 5 seconds they were engaged with the
Some
Borg.
of them get vacuumed out of the space.
Which is a great way to die. It's just awesome.
Pretty horrible. Your blood boils. It's
Picard tells his 12-year-old helmsman to take them into a nebula, the Paulson Nebula.
Oh, the Paulson Nebula. The Paulson Nebula is in Enterprise. I believe you know where the Paulson Nebula comes from in that show.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
His name was Robert Paulson. His name was Robert Paulson. That's a different movie.
I feel like we're mixing our metaphors here a little bit.
Yeah. It takes me a week to get back into things.
Next week's episode will be good, we promise.
I promise it'll be good.
But they hide in the nebula, and the Borg can't seem to follow them.
Yeah, the Borg are... They kind of, like... You kind of just get the feeling like they're like, well, we'll just wait here. Like,
yeah,
what's
they
the
do
point?
as well. And Picard's like, damn, I thought they would leave. Like,
yeah, like there's...
Now we're trapped in here.
They don't need, like... They got all the time in the fucking world, man. Like,
and then later when they fly out of the nebula, they fly out on the same side that the Borg cube is on, right next to them. What the fuck?
You had to make sure the dummies knew what was happening.
I guess so.
I mean, that would be really stupid to do that, but whatever.
But the engineering team, Riker, Shelby, they hang out and they start talking about how a narrow band of high phaser frequency is what nullified the Borg cube's power.
There you go. It was like a dip in the power, right?
And my boy Geordi, and my boy Crusher, just kidding. They come up with a plan to use the main deflector dish, the cure-all of the Star Trek universe.
It's like the shotgun of the ship. Let's just shoot a bunch of shit out of this deflector dish.
Maybe we can use the main deflector dish to fucking kill them. Like, I don't know how. Somehow it'll work.
It's the blunderbuss of Star Trek. Just put some forks and spoons in it and shoot them at people. I don't know. Fucking shove a candlestick in there, too. Who gives a shit?
It's fucking like... The deflector dish solves every problem in Star Trek history. Like, they should start putting like 100 of those on a fucking ship.
If you think about it, it's like really powerful. Like, because it like pushes everything away. It just like makes like a shield in front of the ship that like just pushes shit. Like, that's crazy.
Fucking make a ship that's just a deflector dish.
They do.
What?
There's ones that are like, they have like really big ones.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's it. It's just a deflector dish, and you just hold on to it and fly through space.
You're talking about a Death Star?
Oh, no.
Are you talking about a Death Star? Oh, shit.
But, like, Shelby's like, but that'll destroy us or whatever, and Riker's no, we need to put some distance between us and this target. And, Shelby comes up with the idea that every phaser on the ship, including hand phasers, need to be tuned to those high band frequencies.
Which is, like, genius, because, like, that's how they deal with the Borg for, like, ever. Like, they always do this thing.
And that's the thing is, like, that's Shelby's idea. She's the one who came up with that they use forever.
Yeah. She is an expert on the Borg.
Oh, yeah. She definitely knows what she's talking about. She just has a very harsh personality that's hard to get along with.
Well, most smart people have that.
I have a great personality, and I'm a super genius, so fuck you.
A lot of people don't like harshness because it's too much for them, but smart people, they just don't have time to coddle.
I'm all about coddling, especially what it leads to.
You're talking about cuddling.
Oh... You can't coddle and then fuck? It doesn't work that way?
No, it's like sad if you coddle and fuck. It's not the best.
But this is where Shelby comes up with the idea of creating 2 targets for the Borg by separating the saucer section.
Which they do use. Like next time we'll talk about
next
that.
Time, we'll get into that. Yeah. But like Riker's against it because like we said earlier, it creates 2 targets that are significantly weaker than they would be together, and one that is way weaker and is full of civilians.
Yeah, Riker, like, in the next part is like, well, you gotta Star Trek that plan up a little bit, Shelby.
Yeah.
Here's what we're gonna do.
Save us.
Yeah, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna play poker with the Borg.
I tell you what I'm gonna do.
We're gonna split your ship apart, but we're gonna throw in extra little thing for you here. We're gonna trick them.
We're gonna trick them in a way that'll make us the winners.
Stick with me, kid.
But Shelby's like, I think the captain should make that decision.
Yeah.
And Riker's like, I give the captain all the options that I'm given. Like, I present all the ideas, whether I agree with them or not.
Right.
And she's like, fine then. And then she leaves.
Damn.
And Geordi comes up and he's like, wow, women, right? And Riker's like, yeah.
And then everyone's like, Geordi, you've never been with a woman.
Geordi, do you know any women
that aren't holograms?
He's like, well, I know Dr. Crusher.
Yeah, your doctor looking at your junk isn't the same thing, Geordi. That's their job.
Sometimes I'd talk to Troy.
Yeah, about your women problems. Nice.
Oh, I feel so bad for Geordi.
Yeah.
Maybe if he wasn't such a fucking hollow creeper. Anyway.
He gets a little weird with the holograms. He doesn't get Quark weird, but he gets a little weird.
That's true. Like, Quark doesn't even find it weird. He's just like, fucking give me your money and you can fuck whoever you want.
You want to fuck Kira? Here's some Kira yeah, give me your latinum.
Yeah, I figured out a way you could fuck Kira here.
I love when they change his face. It's my favorite gift. It's so good.
But Riker goes to Picard's ready room later, and Shelby's already there, and she's already told the captain her suggestion that she thought Riker wouldn't tell him.
Yeah, she like jumps ahead, which is super that's a no-no.
No, you don't go over your boss's head. That's a good way to get fired.
That's a bad, especially in the military. That's like super.
Oh yeah, you're breaking a chain of command, which Picard uncharacteristically doesn't seem to care about this time.
Yeah, I guess like, I don't know.
It's necessary for the story that he doesn't care.
Yeah, he's having a bad day, a bad Picard day.
But
soon to get way worse.
Oh god, yeah. He agrees with Riker that like now isn't the time to use that, but they should keep it as like a final resort.
Right, which again, we'll see.
And Riker's like, fine. And then like there's this really, really tense moment where Riker and Shelby both walk out and stand and wait for a turbo lift.
Mm-hmm.
And then they walk in and Shelby's like, deck 8, and he says, halt!
Stop! Yeah.
And he's like, you are never to bypass my authority again, ever. Yeah. And she's like, fine, but I need permission to speak freely. And he's like, be my guest. Which, if I was him, I would have been like, kiss my ass.
Yeah, I'd have been like, no, go to your room.
Yeah, but she's like, you're in my way. Yeah. And he's like, wow, that must be so terrible for you, which I love. I love that response.
It's great.
But then she's like, you're an old fogey and a bitch. You won't do anything. You won't fucking do it. You won't do it.
You're a bearded bitch, you bearded bitch.
And he's like, oh no. Oh no. She got me. She knows I'm a bearded bitch now. Oh.
He cries.
But she like, if you can't make the hard decisions, you should get out of the way for someone who can.
Yeah, like she's like really like over the line. Yeah, this is like we're getting in like crazy territory here.
She walks out and Riker's like, that hurt my feelings.
Yeah. She knows how to push his buttons, dude. She's been doing it since she fucking got there.
She knows what she wouldn't want to hear.
Yeah,
know?
Yeah.
She just says that shit to him.
Yeah, she weaponizes it. It's tough, man. You gotta. Whew.
We get some classic Picard moment where he goes into 10 forward. Nobody's drinking because they're all gonna die and they know it.
Which would make me drink, but whatever.
They're all drinking in their quarters alone, I guess, facing their own mortality.
Yeah. Oh, this moment is great. I do like this part.
And Guinan's like, what are you doing awake? And he says, it's a tradition for the captain to tour a ship before a big battle.
Yeah.
And Guinan points out, it's if the battle is unwinnable.
Yeah, she knows, because she's seen it.
Yeah. And he's like, well, it's not just if it's unwinnable. And he points out a time in history where the leader dies, but the people win.
Yeah.
And she, of course, immediately points out that the leader dies and asks him, do you think you're gonna die?
Yeah, this is great.
He dodges the question quite heavily.
Yeah.
But it's a great little speech where he says, we're all just part of history right now. It's history in the making, and we don't know what's going to happen next, whether humanity is even going to exist.
Yeah.
Turn the page.
He knows. He knows how big. Like, this is a super big deal. Like, this sucks.
Like, everybody's kind of dodging the, weight of the situation. Especially, Shelby and Riker are caught up in their own dumb little squabble or whatever.
Yeah, it's almost like that's what we fill our time with to distract ourselves from, thinking about how big the universe is.
Yeah, Shelby especially is I need to get ahead in my career, when really she should be if I don't figure this shit out, every human being in the universe is going to die.
Yeah.
Or be turned into robot zombie slaves.
Yeah, which is worse than death.
Oh yeah. I'd rather die any
dead.
day.
Yeah, just kill me. Don't make me a fucking trapped in a weird body with a googly eye.
Dude, I want a Mad Eye Moody googly eye on my Borg body. But
it's just goofy as shit.
Everybody, all the other Borg laugh when they see it. Ha 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 ha. ha.
Yeah, they laugh in binary. 010101.
Stop laughing at me.
I don't know how to do binary, so I'm sure we'll get an email. Actually, here would be laughing. Whatever.
11111111111. But I'm sure Ha is 80 ones and zeros.
It's big. It's probably longish.
But Guinan brings up her own people. The listeners. The L-Arians.
L-Arians.
And she said, after the Borg destroyed my planet, we scattered to the cosmos, but we still exist. We're still creating our history.
Right.
And there's a weird moment that I find very strange, where they're staring at each other very knowingly, but then the ship gets fucking rocked with an explosion, and neither of them react to it for the most part. They're just kind of this happening.
Yeah.
And Worf calls the captain to the bridge. My boy Worf doesn't do a whole lot in this episode.
He kind of cries later.
Yeah.
He gets real weepy.
He is a Borg!
Yeah, he gets real butthurt.
Because his fucking favorite guy gets turned into a robot slave.
Yeah, later when they fight the Borg, he's gonna want to kill him.
Yeah, he's fucking... Let's kill him!
Get off my bridge. You're a coward. You want to run. That's what he says to him.
And the Borg finally, after I don't even know how many fucking hours we're at this point, they start firing magnet-guided charges to that's magnetically guided towards the ship.
They had to build them. They had to
That's probably true. That's probably true. They had to request the parts from fucking...
Yeah, you gotta call the supplier. It's
Jeff
crazy.
Bezos.
Jeff Bezos is Borg. Holy shit.
That's right. But they fucking take off out of the nebula. They're we have to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
And the Borg cube chases, but they catch the Enterprise in a tractor beam, and Borg start transporting onto the ship.
Yeah.
It's too spooky.
It's a spooky yawn.
I was too scared, so
Not a 12 at night yawn. It's a spooky yawn.
It's too spooky for me.
I like how they throw Riker. They he goes to I don't know, do something.
I don't know. They try to phase him first, but it doesn't work. So Riker runs over and tries to hug him,
stop him with a hug. Yeah.
He's let's be friends, and he fucking gets thrown into the.
He says, "I already have a boyfriend," and he throws him into the side.
He's blah, blah, and he lands, and his fucking skull pops open. It's crazy.
That's crazy.
And Worf runs at him and just gets fucking bitch slapped out of the way.
Yeah. The Borg are strong.
They're super strong.
Yeah.
But another Borg just pops in right next to Picard, which makes you wonder why no one's done that before.
Yeah, and he goes, yoink!
And he's yoink, this is mine. And
then he
teleports out.
Yeah.
And other two Borg teleport out, and the one that got beat up just like disappears.
Yeah, they kind of like, I guess, vaporize them or something, or they like transport them back to like recycle them or some shit. I don't know. They're green. They're like green. They're green.
Riker and Worf wake up and they were like sleeping because they got knocked out like a cartoon. They were like, me.
They saw stars.
And then they wake up, the stars going around their head.
Yeah.
But they wake up and they're like, Riker orders a pursuit. But O'Brien is completely incapable of beaming Picard back, so they have to like follow. They have to figure out a way.
They're trying to keep up with them, and they're like burning their engines out because the Borg are fucking fast as shit.
Worf is like, they're heading towards Sector 001.
The Terran system.
Close up on Riker, who says, Earth. For the dummies who don't know the Terran system is Earth.
I'd like to think that he delivered that line wrong, and he went, Earth.
Earth.
Earth, welcome to Earth.
But Picard gets taken to like, I don't even know. I don't know why they have to take him anywhere since they can talk from all of their mouths.
Yeah, they're kind of just like, I don't know, I kind of thought that they were kind of just like in their head, right? Like they kind of have like some sort of, because some of them are, like the Borg have assimilated like telepathic species, so like
for sure
maybe they use like some kind of, I don't fucking know. Like
I don't know, but they take him to like the edge of like the warehouse that they're all hanging out in.
Yeah, the warehouse at the end of Indiana Jones.
And they're like, this is like, I think they already said resistance is futile in their first appearance.
Yeah.
But they weave it into a sentence this time. They respond to him when he says, I will resist to my last breath. And they say, resistance is futile.
Yeah.
You will become part of our collective, and so will Earth, and you will become our voice to the humans.
Yeah.
And Picard's like, suck my dick.
Which is crazy that they said that in 1990.
I know. It makes you root for him, though.
What's even crazier is that he unzips and tries to suck his own dick at this part, and you're like, what?
That doesn't even have anything to do with what you just said, Picard. What are you doing?
Maybe he thought this was like his last moment on Earth, so he's got to get it in.
I never tried before. I must try before I die.
Resistance is futile. He looks at his dick and says that. Damn. It's crazy.
The Borg are very impressed. They're like, we must add this to our collective.
We need this.
Meanwhile, Geordi comes up to Riker and he's like, hey, our deflector's ready, but like, we need to use power from the warp engines. And we can't do that when we're doing warp fucking 9 to try and keep up with them.
Yeah, we're hot rodding right now. It's good. It's crazy.
And Riker's like, you know what? We're going over to save Picard, my dad, from the Borg.
Yeah.
And here's what the team's going to be. It's going to be Shelby. It's going to be Data. It's going to be Worf. It's going to be Crusher. It's going to be me.
John Stockton for three-pointers.
He's like, actually, Shelby, you stay here. Tell Shelby to stay here. You're in charge of the ship. Yeah, I'm Action Man.
He's the captain now. I'm the captain now.
He's like, I'm Action Man. I'm going to go do action. You can be Ship Girl. You hang out on the ship.
Aww.
and unfortunately, Troy completely action blocks him.
Yeah, because he's the captain, so he can't go.
She's like, you remember when you said you were the captain now? Well, you are. You have to stay here.
Now you gotta stay here. And he's like, damn it.
He's like, all right, Shelby, you can go. And Shelby's like, right in his face. And
she like farts like really loud.
Yeah,
like,
and Riker's wiener like shrinks.
It like cuts away to his wiener, and it's just wow,
I've been emasculated.
Shit, I guess I should stay here too.
Oh no, I don't get action. Oh.
I sure wish you were like Picard and you could suck me. Weird.
Anyway, the away team, made up of Shelby, Worf, Data, and Dr. Crusher.
Yeah.
Which it makes sense that Crusher's going this time, since there's, like, Picard might be hurt over there.
There's a medical reason, yeah.
They get transported over, and, again, the Borg do not give a fuck.
They don't give a shit. They're just like, fuck you, I got shit to do today.
We are working our 9-to-5s right now. You can do whatever the hell you want.
Yeah.
And, like, Data Data gives a little crash course about like what the Borg are like and everything, since Crusher wasn't there last time and Shelby has never seen a Borg before.
Yeah, this is like old news for Data. He's like, well, I've been here before. I remember this shit.
But like all their equipment is kind of not working right. Like tricorders aren't telling them shit.
Yeah, they got like some kind of like dampening field or some shit.
But Crusher, being a science lady, sees this node hanging from the ceiling that all the Borg seem to be connected to, and she's like, hey, maybe they're like ants or mosquitoes.
Yeah.
And they use like some sort of fucking system to communicate with each other, and if we could just destroy this system, we could do some real damage.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, wow, Crusher, what a great idea.
Yeah,
I'm glad your son isn't here.
And she says, me too. I thought I sent him away, but he came back.
How do I get rid of this kid?
This kid won't leave Star Trek. It sucks.
And they head towards the nodes. They head towards them distribution nodes.
Yeah, like if it were now, they would call it like a router, right? They'd be like, it's like a router.
It works like a router does.
They would say that, and it would be stupid.
It really would be.
It would be really, really stupid.
But Riker gets a call from Admiral Hansen.
I'm back. It's me, Admiral Hansen.
And Admiral Hansen is like, the Earth must be protected at all costs.
Yeah, do whatever you need to do, right?
And the fleet will intercept the Borg at Wolf 359.
Star Trek's 9/11. Here we go.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But Riker's like, yeah, here's our situation. Like, we gotta do this, and that, blah, 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 you know, whatever. And Hansen's like, and Picard? He's a robot. Oh, he got roboted.
He's half a robot. He's a Dalek now.
I'm sorry, Admiral Hansen.
Your best friend.
Your best friend that we'd never seen you with this whole time up until now.
Until now, yeah.
But the away team finds Picard's uniform, and they're all very worried they're going to have to see his dick.
Yeah, which he just sucked.
Yeah, so at least it would be flaccid, right? Is that better or worse? I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I know when it's happening to me, which is better and which is worse, but I can't say.
Tell us.
I've never walked a mile in another man's dick, so I don't know.
You lie. Anyway, like, Riker's like, our weapon's done. The away team needs to make the Borg cut out of warp any way possible.
Yeah.
And they start firing on all those distribution nodes.
Yeah.
And the Borg all wake up. They're like, oh no, our nodes!
Time to go! That's what they say. They go, let's go, boys!
One of them wakes up and says, let's go!
Yeah.
Fucking, not our nodes! I love those!
My nodes! You're shooting my nodes!
But the Borg cube does drop out of warp because of this.
Yeah, it stops them. Yeah.
And our hero, Wesley, tells everybody that the Borg cube is stopped. He's the one who really saves the day.
Thanks, Wesley.
And they finally divert power from warp because they don't have to chase this bitch anymore.
Yeah.
And they start final preparations to use the weapon.
Yep. But
meanwhile,
yeah,
the away team they're still shooting nodes, and the Borg start attacking them. And we learn that they really do get one shot with those fucking phasers.
Yeah, they're not they're not good at doing the whatever they do to them yet. Like in like later
frequencies. Yeah,
later they kind of get like 1 or 2 or 3 shots. You know.
Yeah, they start actually modulating their frequencies themselves.
What a great what a great concept though. Like you have this fucking space weapon that is like it vaporizes shit, right? But now it's like basically a musket. Like maybe you get one shot and then it's done. Like that sucks. Like for them, they must be like, oh my god, this sucks so much.
As a security officer myself, I'm well aware that the reason why they don't modulate the frequencies at this point is because the phasers aren't made to do that themselves. They have to be opened up.
They have to be programmed,
and programmed to do that from the inside out. Wow. By the time they are modulating the frequencies themselves against the Borg, that is a new version of the phaser. That was specifically made to combat the Borg.
Well, thankfully we have a security expert on our show.
You're welcome, everybody. Keeping Starfleet safe, one dead body at a time.
Pile them up. You got a wall.
That's how you make a red shirt joke, people. Fucking put some effort into it, right?
Try harder. Fucking try harder.
Anyway, Captain Picard shows up, and they're all like, Picard, my hero!
Except he's RoboCop.
However, he turns around, and his laser pointer from the fucking Walmart down the street.
You know how much that fucking thing cost in 1990? That was like a $250 laser pointer, dude.
Jesus Christ, it's like $2 now.
I know, now it's like they just give them to you at like wine events. They're like, here's a laser pointer.
Thanks, I love laser pointers with my wine.
I'm gonna need this to put on my keychain to do stuff with.
But he turns and he laser points into the camera, and you know those motherfuckers were like, this is awesome.
Yeah. And they didn't know what it was doing to the camera, probably.
Oh, yeah. But they're like all fucking
inside
shocked about this, and Worf, like, fucking dives towards the captain, like, please hug me! But he gets force fielded.
Yeah, he's like in a little room.
Yeah, and they're like, they just leave. They don't even say anything afterwards. They just all kind of stand up and beam out.
They're like, fuck it, we gotta go. Because they gotta shoot that laser off, the deflector laser.
Yeah, I feel like this should have been a moment where Worf refuses to leave for a second.
That'd be great, right?
Where he's like, I won't leave him!
Yeah, it would be really cool.
But then, like, Shelby or somebody says, we have to go! And then they beam out.
Yeah.
Or, like, maybe he's like, I won't leave him, and then they start to beam out, and he goes, no!
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Very dramatically.
Yeah.
Instead, they all just kind of beam out, and there are no flaws in this episode, really. I'm just fucking making jokes.
We're nitpicking.
So
I'm
just making jokes. But they all appear on the bridge, and Riker's like, what happened over there? Where's the captain? And they're like, oh, he's been altered by the Borg. And Riker's like, how? How was he altered? Worf says, he is a Borg.
Yeah, a single tear.
Which is my favorite Worf impression I do.
It's like a weird, like, low angle shot of like the side of his face. Like, such a weird angle.
He doesn't want to look at the camera to see his pain.
Yeah, like, it's like, it's pretty smart, yeah.
But, Shelby and Dr. Crusher are like, let's go back. We gotta save him.
Yeah.
But Riker's like, we don't have time for that. We have to save Earth.
Yep. Bigger problems right now.
But the Borg hail the Enterprise.
And it's Locutus!
Picard's there and he says, I am Locutus of Borg.
They gave him a name. That's cool.
Yeah, they don't get names. Why did he get a name?
I remember I wanted the Locutus toy so bad.
Oh, I did too.
Never got it.
I did too. Like, I thought he looked so cool, and now I look at it and I'm like, his entire upper body is just like a shirt.
Well, it's like the Klingons, right? Like, they make the Klingons look better over time, and like, well, not the new ones, but like, you know, back in the day.
Well,
and
I mean, they've made them look better from the beginning of Discovery to now.
Oh,
they look more like Klingons.
Okay,
now.
That's good. I don't know, but like the Borg are like basically like just like chalk, they're like chalky, right? And later they're like veiny and sweaty and like gross.
Really gross.
They look like zombies. They look like fucking zombies, right?
But like Locutus is like, he has a lot of like waist stuff and leg stuff, and he has some stuff on his arm, but his like entire upper body is like the fucking like turtleneck sweater that like German expressionists wear. Like, I'm thinking of the show Sprockets.
The
Saturday Night Live.
Yeah,
he's wearing the Sprockets, like, turtleneck.
Well, some things a Borg can't take out of you.
It's true. They can't take the artistry out of you.
Like your fashion, yeah.
But, like, he says, I'm Locutus of Borg, and, you know, resistance is futile, and, you know, you better fucking be my bitches.
Yeah.
And it does this zoom in on Riker, and he says, Mr. Worf.
Fire. Oh, it's so good. And that was the end of the season.
To be continued.
And you had to wait for like 7 months before the show came back.
What's gonna happen to my friend? My friend Locutus.
Oh my God.
Picard.
It's so good. This episode changed TV. Without this episode, you don't get any of your shit. You don't get Lost. You don't get fucking, obviously, Battlestar, which is the easy one to make because, like, Ronald D. Moore, but you don't get like any of this shit. All the fucking cliffhangers in television come from this fucking shit.
Thank you, Michael Piller.
And Ronald D. Moore.
He fucking looked at it.
No, man, that article
put his name on it.
No, that article I read was about how like he really like wanted this. He was like, no, we need to like do this. Like he like pushed like hard because he was
in an early draft of the story. Data and Picard were combined as one Borg unit.
That's horrible.
Pillar recalled, somebody said, why would they do this?
Yeah.
And we didn't have a good answer, so we dropped the idea.
Yeah, good. That's dumb as shit.
That's a really bad idea.
But then they
get
they get their movie about it, which is great, because Data's great in the movie. Die Hard in Space, remember?
Fuck yeah.
We did a show about it,
right?
That's the best one. I love that. The best TNG one.
Here's another fun fact for you along the same vein. The real reason why Dr. Crusher was included in the away team that attempts to retrieve Picard from the Borg was that actress Gates McFadden had mentioned to Pillar that she thought it would be fun to fire a phaser, as her character Dr. Crusher wasn't usually provided with the opportunity for much phaser action during the series.
You gotta respect writers for, like, writing their way out of these, like, weird shit problems, right? Like, Gates McFadden is like, you know, I quit and then I came back and now I want to shoot a phaser. And then the writers have to go, okay, like, what do we need?
We'll put the phaser in.
Yeah,
like,
how do we do this?
If I was fucking Gates McFadden, I'd be like, hey, can I shoot a phaser?
Yeah, I would probably. She gets to shoot phasers. She gets, like, whole episodes where she's, like, on that planet with her ghost grandma or whatever the fuck.
She's on the planet with the ghost that fucked her grandma.
That's
and now
right.
the ghost is gonna fuck her.
Yeah, that episode sucks. I skipped that one.
That is one of the worst episodes ever.
Yeah, that one is like, it's like all like she's like from a colony or something that's like Edwardian or some shit.
Yeah, it's like the colony is Scotland. It's like space Scotland.
Yeah, it's like, why is it like this here?
And
like,
it's got a ghost on it.
It's like fucking stupid as shit.
The two of my favorite things about that episode is they have a regular graveyard.
Yeah,
like in the future they get like a fucking Edgar Allan Poe-esque
it's a
graveyard.
It's like fucking the Headless Horseman or some shit. It's like ridiculous.
I love that the ghost wants to fuck every lady in the family.
He's
just
got a
all
type.
of them forever.
He's got a type. He likes the Crushers or whatever her maiden name was.
Bouvier. Bouvier.
That's Marge. That's Marge.
McGillicuddy.
Yeah, Irish name.
That's Lucy. I love Lucy. Her maiden name's McGillicuddy.
Yeah.
But that episode's fucking terrible. But somebody, if you go to Instagram, I'm sure you could find this super easy. Somebody ran Beverly Crusher through that app that shows you as like a different gender. Like they show
as a woman or a man.
And she looks exactly like the ghost that tries to fuck her.
That's
the
so
guy
weird.
that played him.
Wow. That's weird. Maybe the ghost did fuck her.
I think Gates McFadden is like my number one lady out of all the Star Treks.
You would be my number one lady.
my main squeeze, my main gal.
Well, she's a redhead, so I mean, you know.
I don't know. It's tough because you got Uhura as well.
Yeah, Uhura is stunning. Like, absolutely beautiful. Like,
it's wild. Like,
ridiculous. Where you're like, it's like Uhura is like the type of person like where you would see her and you would just be like, where are you? What? Like, one time I got my hair cut by a lady and she was like the most beautiful person I've ever seen in my life, and I was like, what the fuck are you doing here cutting my hair? Like, what is this?
Shouldn't you be like a supermodel somewhere?
I was like, this is insane. Like, what is happening?
It's like, I always point out that every time they show a lady in Star Trek TOS in a close-up, they have like Vaseline all over the fucking thing.
They're made up like crazy.
They don't have to do that for Uhura. Like, they put the camera on her and it just naturally softens the frame.
It's ridiculous.
Because she's just so beautiful.
Well, she fucked that ghost, so she maybe was part ghost.
Well, fucking Uhura didn't fuck the ghost.
That ghost fucked everybody, Jeff.
Only Crusher's family fucked the ghost.
If I was a ghost,
related.
Oh my god, I would fuck so much if I was a ghost. Oh my, I can't wait till I'm a ghost. It's gonna be great.
The fuck ghost. Watch out for that in theaters. So this episode is fucking amazing.
Yeah, I don't really think we need to. I mean, this obviously we have the second part to do next time. But yeah, this is like a movie. This feels like a fucking movie.
Yeah, this is the first half of a film, and like, could you imagine watching this and then waiting 7 months?
I did it. I can imagine. I fucking did it. It sucked.
I meant the audience, Josh.
Dude, I'm telling you, it like shattered me. I was like, oh my fucking god. Like, I didn't know what to do, but like knowing how children are. Like, I mean, the months passed quickly.
Yeah, you probably forgot about it pretty quick.
Yeah, well, we had
honestly.
to. I had, like, homework to do and shit.
You had a life to lead.
I had to go outside and play.
It's like...
It was summer. I had to go.
It's like a masterpiece, right? Like
It's
when
great.
people talk about the greatest episodes of television ever,
Yeah.
I feel like the best of both worlds is like people are talking about two-parters.
Yeah.
The best of both worlds has to be at the top of the
No, it's up
list.
there for sure. Like, and that's not just like as a Star Trek fan, but a fan of like stories and television and shit. Like, it's definitely up there. Like this, it's like I said, it like nothing was like this then. Like this was like,
Oh yeah.
it like blew people's fucking minds, which is like great because like Star Trek is awesome, and I'm glad that like I think it cursed Star Trek like now because we don't have that anymore. Like Star Trek doesn't hold that weight anymore, right?
No, I mean it's like an action franchise at this point.
Yeah, it's a joke. It's a fucking shit show.
I'm gonna go on a tangent like about something slightly related because we're gushing over how much we love this episode, how much we love Star Trek in general.
Yeah.
I started very recently. Some people know I started listening to the Adventure Zone,
Yeah.
which is the McElroy brothers podcast. It's like a D&D role play podcast. Very good. They're part of the Maximum Fun Network, which, like, when I heard about that there were networks for podcasts, like, where you could actually get money,
Yeah.
I was like, fucking sign me up, right? Where do I go to sign up?
Yeah.
It turns out that they already have a Star Trek show on the
Oh.
Maximum Fun Network. It is called The Greatest Generation. And it turns
Okay.
out that this is one of the shows that I listened to back in the day that made me want to make my own Star Trek podcast because all of them were so bad.
Well, thanks a lot, Greatest Generation.
The Greatest Generation is billed as a Star Trek podcast by two guys who feel shamed that they have a Star Trek podcast.
Oh, because nerds, right?
And I hate that attitude. That you should be ashamed or feel any type of negative emotions for being into Star
I'll
Trek.
complain one step farther, and I'll say that is purely a cynical marketing decision to get people to listen to the show who wouldn't because they don't like Star Trek. That's totally what that is.
I don't doubt that at all.
Like,
it's
a way to get people to be like, I know you don't like Star Trek, and we don't either. It's fucking stupid.
And it's like the show itself is pretty much like, like bad movie podcasts where people like shit on.
Yeah.
Like our episodes that are about bad episodes of Star Trek, we still talk about how much we love Star Trek and like
Right.
find enjoyment in the good parts.
Right.
It's pretty much like how they shit on bad movies on stuff, but they do it for Star Trek. And
I don't
that's one of the
understand.
things that really made me want to do my own Star Trek podcast.
Yeah.
Because it was the only podcast that I found that was specifically billed as comedy at the time, like a comedy Star Trek podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And I love podcasts that are funny. Like, I don't really listen to serious podcasts.
Yeah, there's enough serious shit going on right now. I don't really listen to that shit.
Exactly. So, like, I wanted to start my own podcast that was, like, funny, but it was still Star Trek, and it had that, like, core value of, like, Star Trek is fucking rad.
Hell
and
yeah.
everybody should love Star Trek.
Yeah, if you don't, you're a fucking busta, dude. Get out of my
Yeah.
fucking... If you don't like Star Trek, I immediately judge you. I'm like, nah.
You're a fucking busta if you don't like Star Trek.
No scrubs. I don't want no scrubs.
Fuck yeah, you are 100% a bugaboo if you don't like Star Trek.
A scrub is a guy that ain't getting no love from me for not liking Star Trek.
Fuck right. Like, Star Trek is amazing, and, like, there's bad Star Trek, and there's good Star Trek, and there's fucking amazing Star Trek.
Yeah, this is fucking amazing.
But it's all worth it, right? Like, even,
Yeah.
like, fucking Discovery might lead to something great, you
Maybe.
know?
I hope so. And I hope this fucking Picard shit works. I hope, God, Jesus Christ, I
Fuck
hope it's
yeah.
good. Fuck me.
Like, it could, like... And the thing is, if the Picard series turns out to be great, we wouldn't have got that without Discovery.
Right, which is good,
And
right?
that'll be
Yeah.
a redeeming thing for Discovery, even if it itself never gets any better.
Right.
And like, I
Like
don't know,
much
I
like
don't know
TOS, right? Like now we're saying because like TOS, I love and you love and is great, but it doesn't get respect. Like
Yeah,
because
but if it didn't exist, you wouldn't have your TNGs
right,
and
you
your
wouldn't
Deep
have
Space
it.
Nines.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of Star Trek fandom is based around this idea that, like, oh, like, I know it's shitty, but I love it. But it's not shitty, is the thing. It's some of the best written television of all time.
You're a liar if you're watching Star Trek, you're just, it's like junior high mentality where you're like, oh, like, I watch Star Trek, but it's stupid. It's like, no, you watch it because you like it. Like, that's what, like, people don't watch things that suck. Like, they don't. It's just
like, you can make jokes. Like, we make jokes all the time about being giant fucking dorks.
Right.
About loving Star Trek and everything. But, like, I don't really believe that. Like, Star Trek is amazing. I love it because it's amazing.
Yeah. I would never, like, I have never and will never make fun of somebody for liking, like, even anime, for God's sakes, which I've done. But I get it. But I get it. Like, I get why they like it. And it's not, like, my favorite thing always, but, like, I get it, man. Like, it makes you feel a certain way, and that's great. Like, and Star Trek, I think, is so universal. I just don't understand. I just think people are lying to themselves. If they, honestly, I just think that they think that it's not cool to like Star Trek because it's like we're in some fucking 5th grade mentality still.
There's such a fucking, like, weird dynamic shift these days. Like, it used to be the dorkiest thing you could be into was D&D.
Yeah.
That was the absolute bottom of the barrel. You were like basement dwelling geek scum if you were into D&D. And now it's like super widely available and appreciated. Like, there are hundreds of thousands of podcasts about playing it.
Right.
And like people on TV shows play it who aren't even dorks and shit now.
Yeah.
I think one of the dorkiest things to be into now is Star Trek. Like, that still has that stigma attached to it.
Old Star Trek, well, like, old as in, like, real Star Trek, because it's like, again, it's like a marketing thing. It's like, why don't you like the new Star Trek? It's like, got
not your
guns.
grandpa's Star Trek.
This one has titties in it, and it's like, okay, like, but the story fucking sucks.
Fucking Enterprise had titties in it, and it had a good story. Put a good story in there.
Fucking, we have a fucking doctor rubbing some calamine lotion all over a Vulcan who's going crazy in heat.
Man, I'm really sorry to one Kevin Cole for inviting him on for that particular episode. It was a really good half an episode.
Look, I'm not gonna say if one way or another I jerked off to that part. But I will say...
You're not gonna say that.
But I will say that I did suck my dick at that part. I sucked my own dick.
Josh, you truly are the greatest of us all.
Yeah.
This man can suck his own dick.
Dude, I don't know. I know what you're saying. And I think it's like a combination of just like Star Trek sucks now, and like it's like everything now. Everything is like, well, I like this, but what about this? Like, why don't you like this? Like, it's just the same old shit. Like, everything's got to be like I like Pepsi and I like Coke or whatever, you know? Like, you got to pick.
I'll drink what the fuck ever, man.
I'll drink my own goddamn piss if it tastes good. I don't give a shit.
That would be really, like, useful if piss tastes good.
It probably doesn't. I've never tried it.
I've never tried it either, but it does smell very bad.
Yeah, it smells like I don't want to drink it.
I probably won't. I'll go on record saying that. I probably won't.
Hey, the night
drink
is young. You never know.
Maybe on a desert island situation.
Maybe
we'll
I'm
see.
sucking my dick and I gotta pee real bad, and then one thing leads to another.
Let's go ahead and cut that off real quick, and I will point out the greatest generation Star Trek podcast is the #1 Star Trek podcast in the world.
I'm telling you, man, and like I know this doesn't like make anyone feel any better, but it's all because they marketed it and they thought like, well, if we make it seem like we don't like it, that's all bullshit. It's stupid. I fucking hate that shit.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, like, it has like 5 out of 5 stars on like iTunes and has like 9,000 some reviews.
I mean, I've never listened to it. I don't know, so I can't really say.
It sucks. I only listened to like part of one episode, but it all sucks dick. All like 9 billion episodes. It's worthless. I don't know. Maybe it's that episode was the problem.
Maybe you just got a bad one. I don't know. If they're complaining about this best of both worlds, like
I don't think it was the best of both worlds.
All right, I was gonna say like I don't know what you're fucking complaining about. Like that's like
there's nothing to complain about. It's a great fucking episode.
To me, it's like complaining about like a Renaissance painting. Well, things don't look like this anymore. Like yeah, but like look at this fucking shit. It's amazing. Like that's how it feels to me. And that's
like that's a pet peeve of mine. Like there's a whole like side of artists in the art world that like turn their nose up at the like Renaissance masters in their classics.
I'm not an artist, but like they don't even know how they did that shit. Like they don't know how like Da Vinci like painted. Like it's a mystery.
That's the thing. Like none of my art looks anything like Da Vinci's art, but Da Vinci is still a huge influence on me. Like you have to take those lessons and understand that these were people who were at the top of their craft.
Yeah.
Everything they did was masterful.
Yeah. Everything they did was like their art. Like they like
even if it's not to your taste, you have to understand. Like I don't like Cubism.
Yeah.
But I understand, like, I don't like Picasso Cubism in general. I think Picasso's a hack.
Yeah.
But, like, Cezanne and shit. Like, the real masters of Cubism, like, I'm not a big fan of that, but, like, Nude Descending a Staircase is fucking a masterpiece.
Yeah. Yeah, it's part of it is everyone has a platform to voice their shit now. And, and nobody can just shut the fuck up ever. So, like... they get on and they try to like hot take their way into some like I don't know, someone's Hall of Fame of hot take. I don't fucking know, dude. Like everything's fucking like, but this is stupid because of this, and it's like shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up. I don't fucking care.
I agree 100%. I just realized that Nude Descending a Staircase is by Duchamp. Sorry.
Oh, Duchamp?
Duchamp.
They called him Duchamp because he was good at Cubism.
They called him Duchamp because he was Duchamp.
Where is that? Nude, where does it...
If you just put in Nude Descending a Staircase, it'll pop up.
Where's the, where is this painting? Philadelphia Art Museum, motherfucker!
That's right! I'm gonna have to go see it.
Yeah, I've
like,
seen
it's... The thing is, it's motion. It's not depicting anything figurative. It's depicting the motion of someone walking downstairs.
Yeah, it's like how they were picturing like how something moved, right? It's
yeah, crazy. It's like a singular still image that conveys the motion of walking downstairs.
Yeah,
crazy.
It's neat. I don't like it, but whatever.
I'm not. That's like the only Cubist thing that I like. But like I can look at Cubist stuff and understand the value of it, even if I don't like it. It's all about breaking down stuff into basic shit.
Yeah, I'm not super into like the early 20th century stuff that was going on. I
like pop art.
Yeah.
Like there's a part of me that like despises pop art in a way because they like took a lot of images that like low artists like myself made and they just like gussied it up and said, this is my painting.
Right. Yeah.
Like Roy Lichtenstein did that a lot, where he would pick up a More Fun Comics at the newsstand and clip out one of the panels and paint it.
Yeah,
he would just paint that same panel.
Steal it, yeah.
And not give any credit to the guy who actually drew it, and then he would get $1 bajillion.
Yeah, pop art is cool because it's like that time period, like pin-up-y type shit, you know, like I like that type
of... yeah, like I love the low art from any time period. Like I'm a low artist. Like I do comics and stuff. It's very low art compared to like fucking like fine artists or whatever. But like I love that shit, like pulp art of the 30s and 40s and like pin-ups and stuff.
I love that shit.
Fucking amazing
it's cool.
stuff. Star Trek though. Like this is one of those two-parters in Star Trek that like stands 100% on its own as its own thing.
Yeah, and which I like wrote a note and I said like this is the beauty of like the show being like episodic in a lot of ways, is like you can fucking bust one of these out and fucking blow people away. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah,
you're used to like the weekly like adventure, and like a lot of them in the third season are really fucking good. The season is amazing. But then you end the season with this like fucking like champion of the two-parter, and it's like it's amazing. Like it's just I don't know how to like describe what it was.
It's hard to put
like.
it into words.
Yeah, now we're so fucking jaded, like with like Game of Thrones. People don't like Game of Thrones. It didn't fucking whatever, right?
It didn't do what I wanted it to do.
For 8 years, it fucking wrecked your life. It fucking ruined you. It fucking killed the people you loved, and like
Josh,
it didn't end the way you wanted it.
Josh, Mr. Freeze didn't become the king of Westeros like I thought he was going to.
Cool out.
Cool throne.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I could talk about this forever. I love this show. This episode's great. There's nothing wrong with it.
It's like a master class in the two-parter. Like, it ramps up the tension throughout the whole episode. More and more tension. Like, the beginning of this episode is, like, pretty chill. It's pretty low-key. Like, 600 people died or whatever, but, like...
Yeah, that's how it starts, and it doesn't matter. Like, that's how crazy it is, right?
Like, we have time still, so everybody's really low-key, but, like, tensions are fucking mounting throughout this episode.
Yeah.
And it's, like, mounted to the point of, like, a fever at the end of the episode. The captain is a Borg.
It's chaos. It's just everything's falling apart.
And they have to kill him.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's great.
It's just, it's, like, it's wild. Like, could you imagine... an episode of fucking, I don't know, Space 1999, where fucking the captain gets kidnapped. No, fucking like the classic Battlestar Galactica, where your hero Starbuck gets his feathered hair gets kidnapped, and he gets turned into a fucking Cylon.
Yeah, it would be crazy, but they didn't do that shit. No. This did. Like this
is like stakes have been taken to a whole other level at this point.
This is like the Nirvana of shows. Like Nirvana came around and people were like, "Well, we can't go back now." Right? Like it immediately changed everything overnight. That's what this show did.
There was like a reaction to this, right? Like Star Trek continued this like momentum of even when it was sort of fizzling out towards the end of like creating more story-driven episodic television.
Yeah.
Where there was more of a through line of a story that became the norm after Star Trek left the air.
Now there aren't shows that are episodic anymore, really. Almost to the detriment.
Some comedies?
Yeah. But almost to like the detriment of TV. Like I also think that we've gone too far where like there's no medium. Where now like something like with Discovery I'm talking about mostly like and like Lost, where like the through line is just like too obtuse, or it's just like what, like why, like you can cut ahead, you can cut ahead.
You come up with like a story, right? And like at the beginning when Lost first went on the air, I'm sure they were like, this is going to be a 1-season show,
right?
Like we're gonna write this story for 1 season. Beginning of the story, they end up on the island. End of the story, smoke monster, right?
Right.
Spoilers. Sure. But like suddenly they got greenlit partway through the season for a second season. All right, let's stretch this fucking fog monster out.
Yeah, second season is just like longer first season, right?
And then like it just keeps happening.
Yeah, it never stops, and there's no the story becomes almost like inside out at some point. Like it goes so far inside of itself that it's nothing. Like
I remember watching like Arrow.
Yeah.
And, like, people love Arrow, and, like, I don't know how it turned out or whatever, but, like, I was watching through, like, the first couple seasons. The first season has, like, a really good story arc to it.
Yeah.
And, maybe the second season, I forget, but it just starts stretching.
Yeah, it feels
to the point where some episodes, nothing happened.
That's how I feel about the Marvel Netflix series. Most of them.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there's episodes in there.
Definitely episodes where nothing
and you're like, why are we doing? This is dumb. Like, go to the part that you want to get to. Just go to the end. Skip ahead.
Yeah. Fucking Luke Cage gets a haircut. Cool.
Yeah, Luke Cage has to go get surgery, but how are we going to do it? It's like, I don't fucking know.
Did that need to be 3 episodes?
Yeah, it's like ridiculous. Like, quit it. Go to the part.
Then you get the other thing where, like, fucking they amp it up like, oh, it's Daredevil versus the Punisher season,
right?
And then that's over in 3 episodes.
Yeah, and then it's just like the Punisher sitting in a cafe.
There's 10 episodes left.
Yeah, the Punisher just goes to a diner and then just eats like coffee cake. And you're like,
for
what?
10 episodes.
What the fuck?
He just goes to prison. It's like fucking that's it. Yeah, he's in prison now. The end.
He's not the Punisher. He's in prison. Yep.
Anyway. Now watch Now watch Daredevil fight ninjas.
Dude, oh my god.
I like those shows even, but I do think that they're really bad at pacing.
The pacing is
I like some of those shows. Let's put it that way.
I like Jessica Jones. I
like the first season of Jessica Jones. I didn't
good.
like the second season very
Second
much.
season's not as good.
I liked Luke Cage. The first
season's good. Yeah.
The second season was alright. I like Daredevil. Like it stays pretty okay. The first season's way better than the rest of it.
That's the biggest thing I can say about Daredevil is it's entirely watchable.
Yeah,
like
I didn't like Iron Fist at all.
No, Iron Fist sucks. I don't care about
The
Iron
Defenders was pretty good.
That's all right.
So that's my review of Marvel's Netflix series.
That got canceled 6 months ago.
Jessica Jones has another season coming out.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. I'll check that out.
I don't know why that's the one.
She's great.
But it is.
It's the best one. They knew. They figured out, oh, this is the best one.
I liked Luke Cage better.
Did you?
I thought Luke Cage's second season was more watchable than Jessica Jones' second season.
Yeah, the mom shit in the second season of Jessica Jones got a little tedious.
Yeah. The second season, was obviously leading to a third season where, the whole second season of Luke Cage, he's very conflicted about whether he should cross a line or not.
Yeah.
Whether he should be, he should run the streets like a gang.
Right.
And become, a criminal himself. And at the end of the season, it seems like he's made the decision to do that.
Right, but then
the third season was obviously supposed to be him finding out the repercussions are too much.
Well, you can thank Disney for buying Marvel and all that shit because now we're never.
They're still doing Jessica Jones, but I guess Jessica Jones is probably the cheapest.
Yeah, there's not too much I don't know. She crushes things and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, not much. Handles to doors and stuff. Luke Cage throws shit a lot.
Yeah, he's invulnerable. Jessica Jones.
He gets shot with bullets a lot, and they have to do the special effects.
Jessica Jones can't get shot. She's just strong. She's not
Do you know she can fly?
Yeah, in the comic
they hint
book.
at that a little bit.
Yeah, they make fun of the outfit and shit that she used to wear. It's kind of funny.
When she was Jewel,
yeah.
If I could fly, I don't care how curmudgeonly I was. I'd be flying all the fucking time.
I'm terrified of heights, so I don't think I would do it.
Well, I mean, if I Jessica Jones could probably fall and not really get hurt that much. So
I'd fly maybe 20 feet off the ground.
So I'm not great with heights either. I'm better at it than I was when I was younger.
If it came with a you're not afraid of heights superpower, that's what I really want.
There's a great little part in I think it's from the comics first, but it's in the Spider-Man video game where he tells a story about how he was terrified of heights when he first got the spider powers. And he basically forced himself to the top of the Empire State Building to face his own fears.
Immersion therapy, right? You're afraid of heights, they put you up high, or you're afraid of spiders, they put spiders over you.
I think he accidentally falls off or whatever, but he saves himself, so he's never afraid of heights again.
Is that how it works?
He figured out that there's not as much danger in falling as he thought there was.
Right, so he gets comfortable.
Because he could save himself.
It's kind of like riding a bike and doing jumps, right? You really get that feeling, and then after a while, you're just oh, I can do this.
Maybe I would feel that way if I rode roller coasters more, but
I hate roller coasters.
I hate roller coasters.
I'm the worst. Yeah. I hate fun.
I feel like I'm not in any control.
I hate that.
There's nothing I can do.
I hate it.
So I hate that.
Yeah, it sucks. It's not fun. I don't like to be afraid. That's not fun for me.
No. I mean, I like horror movies all right, but I'm never afraid.
I'm never afraid. Yeah, I don't go. I'm not afraid of the story I'm seeing. That doesn't happen. I've never been like that. I used to watch horror movies when I was a little kid. Fuck it.
Mm-hmm.
And I turned out perfectly fine. I'm normal as shit.
Anyway, here, protection note on this episode. As Josh pointed out, the fact that this episode was the first cliffhanger in the history of Star Trek TNG was influential in Paramount opting to be less restrained with this episode's budget than they typically were, and going forward from then.
We can spend more money on ships.
There are some people at home right now that are like, actually, the first episode of Star Trek that was a cliffhanger was Encounter at Farpoint, which, hey, buddy, you're wrong, actually. You're full of shit.
Yeah, because they showed them at the same time.
Yeah, Encounter at Farpoint was a feature-length episode.
Yep. Yeah,
Suck my Star Trek dick.
Okay. Zip.
Zip.
Is there any way you can say zip not weird? I don't think so.
No, probably not.
Not even zip code. It sounds weird.
Zip code. So, this episode's a masterpiece. We've talked at length about it. We've gone on weird tangents where we talked about something else for a while.
Yeah.
I feel like we've covered this part of the episode, as you may have figured out from the title of this episode being Part 1, and us talking about it being a two-parter so much. There is a Best of Both Worlds Part 2! And we're going to be watching that next time.
Come back.
So, make sure to come back for that.
This is the best cliffhanger we've ever done on this show.
Fuck yeah, it's the only one.
Oh no, I'm a Borg!
Oh no, Josh is a Borg. I'm gonna blow that fucking Borg cube up with M1 in it.
Yeah. Fucking kill me.
So there are people who have questioned, hey Jeff, I feel comfortable enough to talk to you by your first name, even though we've never met. How do I know what episodes that you guys are watching next, so that I know ahead of time?
Yeah.
Well, you can head on over to twitter.com/mclasspodcast, where the pinned tweet is always, and I do mean always, the collection we're on.
Yep.
If we've already watched the last episode on that list, it means we haven't announced the collection yet.
Yeah.
Stop asking me.
Sometimes I look at the list because I don't know.
Yeah, I usually just choose. Like, I don't even ask Josh. I'm just like, all right, we're doing this
I'm
one.
fine with it. They're not going to be bad, so.
No, we vote, like,
on the
our
Patreon,
patrons vote on these. This was actually the first part of CzarDiego's Turning Points collection, Part 1.
Great name.
This is not only our first cliffhanger episode, but it will be, when we're done, our first cliffhanger collection.
Oh.
Because he accidentally gave us way too many episodes.
Super meta. It's so meta. We're like turning into that.
So many levels.
It's like Inception here.
We had a vote, and this episode collection, CzarDiego's Turning Point collection, was the second most voted one. So I went ahead and chose it for this time.
Nice. It's a good one.
We already did the one that won. So,
oh, well, there you go.
If you would like to suggest a collection to us, or vote on a collection of what we're going to do next, get the podcast early, whatever fucking podcast we do. You get it early, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah, you will.
You get access to the patron-only Discord, and they're working on some crazy shit over there.
It's crazy, man. I don't even know what's going on.
So get in on that. by heading over to patreon.com/mclasspodcast, where for as little as $1, you get all kinds of goodies.
Yeah, man.
If you would like to get in contact with us and have your email read on the air, maybe you can send that baby over to mclassemail@gmail.com, all singular. We've been in a bit of an email drought lately.
Yeah.
And you might hear something about that in the next episode of Email.
What's up with the emails?
Where the fuck y'all been?
Send them.
So send them on over there. And as I said earlier, you can follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/mclasspodcasts.
Yeah, if you want to, leave us a review on all the things like iTunes.
iTunes, SoundCloud, YouTube. Can you do YouTube reviews?
Yeah, they'll type out like a paragraph about why we're wrong.
I've heard that, buddy. I've heard that one before.
That's pretty much just YouTube, so.
Thank you to everybody who listens to this podcast, all you Star Trek fans and cadets out there that have joined our armada.
Yeah!
Thank you to the patrons who give us your money. Give us more money.
I need that because I want to buy some pretzels.
I'd like to eat food. It'd be pretty good, I think.
I smelled Chinese food today coming home, and I was like,
oh my
motherfucker,
God.
I want some fucking Chinese
I wish
food.
I had the money for that.
Dude, the shrimp dumplings at the place that's near me, oh my fuck, dude.
That sounds good as fuck.
They make this sauce, it's like crack. There's fucking cocaine in it, I swear to God.
I want it. I want to be addicted.
I know! Being addicted rules.
As mentioned earlier, the month of June will be our Pride Month drive.
Yeah.
So that's on our Patreon. Any money that you pledge to us on Patreon will be matched and doubled by our heroes, Ben Bueller and Tapon of the Tapon's radio program.
What a world. Tapon is our hero. Jeez.
I love that man. And all your donations will be, all your pledges to us will be matched by them and donated to the Trevor Project.
Yes.
Which is an incredibly worthy cause.
Agreed.
I'm sure I'm going to be donating some money to that as well.
I also will be doing that.
So thank you to everybody who's going to be doing that for sure. You can donate straight to the Trevor Project at thereicontributed.com. Thank you, Ben, for that as well. And we are going to take off now, but we will see you in 1 week's time for more M-Class goodness.
Yeah, bye.
Bye-bye.
I'm mentally ill.